And now we just wait for it to finally kick in. Should have kicked in.
It's going for me.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it says it's on 15 seconds now or something.
Oh. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Starscream Primer, where we love pretty much anything that's geek and the geek tone. Hey, Jingle, you want to come up here? You're like, hey, Daddy, come here. Well, you got to come here. I can't reach that far. I'll knock over the microphone. Uh-oh, she's going to do a jump. She's going to jump for it. Look at you, girl. So, how you been today, my man?
Been doing good, man. Long day, but been doing good.
That's awesome. So, let me make sure I got this going out to the different places that it needs to go. Let me see here. Let me see. Am I doing it right? Oh, man. It's been a while since I've done one on here. It's been a while since I've done my own live streams, is what I was trying to say. Man. And we do this and paste and boom. And paste, boom. All right, so there we go. See if anyone's in the comments. I have been trying to get as much caught up as possible, and I've been actually watching a lot more of the He-Man reviews as of late, since I got the nice He-Man figures. So let's see. So with your stuff, you're going to start doing reviews. Let's find out some of the things that you're going to be doing, my man. So what are you planning on starting off with?
Well, recently I just posted a review. Well, it was part of a challenge from TFN Geek. I posted my first review of Transformers Studio Series, the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and I'm going to try to fit it all. Yeah, I'm going to try to work out some days, like since I have usually lazy days or some days where I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting around in my room or something like that. I'm going to try to use that time to do reviews and all that stuff, or probably gaming. And
that's cool. I did start a gaming for YouTube also.
Nice.
Yes, Autocrat Primer now has a Autocrat Primer gaming, so I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, what kind of reviews? Which are you doing? Are you going to stick with the Transformer Studio series, or are you going to go with a little bit of Earthrise and stuff too?
Yeah, I plan on doing some Studio Series reviews, Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, and maybe some other stuff. Like I have some Back to the Future vehicles and maybe some Predator figures and some Godzilla vs. Kong figures, since that's coming out.
Yeah, that's about to come out. That'd be some really good reviews right there. The King Kong stuff. So with the what made you decide to go and start to do reviews? Because I mean, typically you watched and watch people's reviews, and then you got to hang out with us and us do the podcast on Mondays on the Community for All of Us. So what made you decide you were going to want to start doing the reviews?
Well, that's a good question. Sometimes I wonder that myself. Like, I guess I just have nothing to do during the day. I just want to post a review, I guess, or something like that. But like I see other people doing it, I just like to do it too. And
just do it for the fun of it.
Yeah.
That's a good reason for doing it. I mean, show off your collection, show off your stuff. Because you're now getting into, because you used to just get the studio, if I'm not, and also the movie ones, because that's what you started with. Is that correct?
Yeah, but when Siege started coming out, I wasn't too interested in it, and it was right around the time of my birthday. I ended up getting World War II Bumblebee Barricade, and they had Sideswipe there, and I noticed they had Siege Hound, and I went, what the heck? So I picked up Siege Hound, and I took him out of the box, and so pretty much the first Siege figure I got was Hound, and I started collecting them since then, and when I heard about the series coming out, I was like, oh yes, and I saw the trailer to the series, I was like, so. And after seeing the Siege series, I started collecting more Siege figures. And then when the Earthrise was announced, I started collecting the Earthrise.
So, is there any other figures or any other things that you actually collect or look to collect? I know you said you got the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Because like me, I'm starting to do He-Man, or I've always done He-Man, but I've never done reviews with He-Man, even though I have all the Matty Collector and stuff like that. It was done online.
Yeah.
So is it just going to be based off of Transformers, or are you going to do other?
Yeah, I'm going to probably do other stuff. Until some other stuff comes out, I'm probably going to end up doing some Transformers reviews, and it might not be much Back to the Future stuff, but I will be doing the Gigawatt review as soon as I get that. As soon as I get that, or one day when I get it.
And it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, like, oh gosh, and the prices on eBay. Come on now, but and I do have a Predator figure from the I think the last Predator movie they made, and some Godzilla versus Kong figures. And
how do you like those?
The Godzilla vs. Kong figures?
Yeah.
Well, these are the $9 ones. The ones, so that would cost you $10, and these are the ones you get at Walmart. And it's part of a wave of Godzilla with the radio tower and Godzilla with a fire blast effect or something like that, and you get King Kong with an axe and a skull crawler, and they also have battle damage. And so
those you showed me those. Those look really cool.
Yeah, actually. And so far I got the King Kong and the fire blasting Godzilla. And I'm going to say this, for $9 for that King Kong, very articulated, comes with an axe that has Godzilla's spine or one of his dorsal plates on there. But that figure is incredibly posable. The Godzilla is not that posable, but the Kong is extremely posable. I did not get the skull crawler yet, but I've seen the reviews. I think that one is very posable too.
Yeah, I actually like those, but it's like I was telling you, I'm having to make a choice. I was like, I'm coming to the point where I've been buying Transformer figures for so long, and there's certain characters that I don't have that I want to get. And that's what Nick and I were talking about, is getting characters that we don't already have, instead of getting characters that start to look more and more like what we would like them to look like jumping off the screen. But yeah, hey, Master Far. And Master Far, if he's able, I want to send him a link, and he can jump in with us too.
And I also want to point this out. Some figures I might not get for Siege and Earthrise. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is, okay, when Siege came out, I ended up getting Brunt and I think another character. I think I only got Brunt. Okay. And he was a character that was not in the show. And after seeing the Siege series, if Ape-Face does not make an appearance in Earthrise, it's kind of like Crosshairs. Oh yeah, I got Crosshairs and Springer and all that. Those characters weren't in the series. And personally, yeah, they're nice figures and cool to add to the collection, but I don't know what it is with me, but for some reason I just don't feel like getting figures that may have not made an appearance, but I'll still get them no matter what.
Well, but you bring up a good point with that, because I mean, a lot of times you're getting figures and the pricing for them, you're wanting to see the ones that's going to be in the show, and a lot of times, we don't get stuff like that automatically, and or we get all these other characters, and we don't get the ones that we want to get that's supposed to be in the show. Like you said, Brunt was one of them, and we didn't get any of the little weaponizers at all in the Siege.
Yeah, I'm sure they may have had plans to have them in the series. Like, I mean, you got, for the Decepticons, the ones that weren't in there was Ape-Face, Brunt, and I can't think of another one. And for the Autobots, there was Crosshairs and Springer, and I'm sure there's another. Oh yeah, Smokescreen and Blue Streak, I guess. But yeah, those weren't in the series. I'm sure they were gonna be in the series, because I mean, why would they have the figures of them? But yeah, I'm sure they were gonna be in the series, but due to budgeting, they didn't have a way to fit them in there, I guess. And plus character models, I'm sure costs a heck of a lot of money. So I guess that would make sense why they have to use a lot of side swipes, impactors, and Mirage molds and Ironhide molds too, because they can't afford different models.
That's true. That's true. And I sit there and let me make sure I keep up the comments while I was doing. That was an email. So yeah, Master Far, I make sure I gotta see if I see it. There it is. Hey guys, how are you doing? Darkona? Yeah, I sent you a link in your email. So check your email and see if you got it there. You should. For me, I've been looking at the Transformers and going saying, okay, we're getting ready to have a price increase with Transformers, and that's going to affect, like Nikki was saying, that's going to really affect on what we actually pick up and what we get. Because go ahead.
Yeah, that's going to affect me too. I mean, I'm doing pretty good getting the Studio Series Deluxes and Earthrise Deluxes and all that stuff, and the Voyagers also. Well, and Kingdom is going to be knocking it, like they're going to be taking my money away. Like the Deluxes are going to be like $22 or $23. Is that what you said?
Yeah, between 20, I think it's 23 or 24.
I'm glad the Voyagers are staying the same price, and you said the leader classes are going to $50 or $55 or something.
I think it's 55. Yeah.
God, yeah, that's going to be knocking it out of my. That's going to put a punch in my wallet, pretty much. But I can understand
the $10 line. I mean, I am glad about that. They're going to come back with the smaller. They're not the legend size, but.
Welcome Master Far into the stream, man.
Hey, good. How you doing, my man?
I've been better. My uncle got the coronavirus. Now I gotta freaking quarantine with my mom for 10 days.
Oh, I hate that. My mom actually has it, and so she's had to be quarantined too, and she went to the hospital. But my youngest sister is down with her right now, so that's It makes it very tough.
What a week.
But that's why I told Lord Master Starscream, I was like, hey, we're just going to I've been meaning to do it. We got a new baby kid who's been kicking my butt and sleeping so much. But that's the thing too, is like we were talking about the pricing is for Transformers. Is that going to affect you on getting certain figures, or are you going to be like how I'm doing, just going towards more of the He-Man classics or Origins?
I'm going to be going for both, actually, because I can make the money. I usually sell a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I was supposed to sell a bunch of stuff. I'm getting the the HezCon Quintesson set, and I'm going to sell that with a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, nice.
I usually make really good money. I have been doing a lot of Origins custom. I just did a Fisto with the vintage head.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I haven't done that. I typically the stuff that I have or I don't typically give to people, but that's something Nikki and I were talking about. So we're probably going to end up having some of the older stuff start selling. But I agree with what Dakota said. This may be unpopular, but I'm in favor of the price hikes if they prevent our toys from getting exactly. I agree. I agree with that. No, I agree with that too. But at the same time, looking at the track record, Hasbro will send out an awesome line, and then usually they'll start looking the ways of cutting costs again. That's how we ended up getting hollow points and stuff like that.
But they fixed that stuff lately. Hitting out even those new Cyberverse Air Talk guys, they feel great.
And to be honest, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you first, Lord Starscream.
I was gonna real quick. I think I can understand the price range. They're not just bumping up the price, for Kingdom, they're not just bumping up the price just to bump up the price. Like Kingdom is dealing with Beast Wars characters, and these are very accurate figures. And okay, I'm just gonna say this: besides the masterpiece, if you go back and look at the old Beast Wars characters, they don't look like the Kingdom figures, those are like, ugh.
I own the Japanese 10th anniversary Primal, and that one was pretty accurate.
And and people are going to be wanting these figures, so and these are old figures, and these are new renditions of them, so I think they would have to bump up the price because people are going to be wanting them like crazy because they're re-releasing the Beast Wars figures, and they know it's going to make money, and people are going to want it.
Well, take a look at the Transformers Prom. Transformers Prom line was a very awesome line that came out. They're now celebrating their 10th anniversary. Me and Nikki were like, wow, it's been 10 years already for that. But that line, those figures are still really, really done really well. I mean, they're still some of the best ones that's out there. I don't see why Hasbro, and here's the thing, this is what Hasbro and all the toy companies, especially with like G.I. Joe with being leased out, you're getting the He-Man figures now that's hitting the store, which is, by the way, actually doing really, really well for Mattel. And these are really nice figures for $14.82. And even Gotbot said that, where he is, they're the same price. They're $15. So when you're seeing stuff like this, and I know there's some engineering and stuff that goes into the Transformers, my concern is that after Beast Wars, just like we had the Titans Return, and those were really nice. And then you come out with the Combiner Wars, and those are like, oh God, is that up and down. I feel like we're now in an upswing with this line with Siege, Earthrise, and now Kingdom coming out. And I agree. I think the only way we're getting Kingdom is for the fact, and the Beast Wars characters is for the fact they're making it bump into the G1.
Well, it is G1.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing. You see, something I like is they're practically going to do all the season 1 characters. Like, it goes without saying. I mean, the only ones we haven't seen yet are Tarantulas, Inferno, and Pterosaur.
Yeah.
And that's it. We know we're getting Rhinox. We know we're getting Polar Claw. I really want Polar Claw. But the point is, much like Titans Return, I'm glad you're getting all the main stuff out of the way so you just do whatever.
Yeah.
I would like for them to do something new. After we get done with this trilogy, I would like something totally new characters, new story arc, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I don't want to see another soft reboot like we typically have been getting. It used to be every 5 years. Now we're getting it literally every 3 years. Every time they get done with a trilogy, then you've got another little soft reboot. But you got to take a look at Mattel. Mattel's coming out with the He-Man figures. You can get Battle Cat for $20. You get He-Man for around $15. Together, that's $35 or $40. That's the price of one Voyager. And you're getting, a heft of a toy. Compared to in which we've not gotten leader class. That's why I did that little video saying you remember when we used to have leader classes and they were actually a leader size. They were actually huge and bulky. Do you think that's going to reflect on the fans still being able? I know there's going to be diehard fans, and I understand like what Dark said. He was saying they want to have the ultimate quality but don't want to pay for it. Totally get that. I totally get that. But one thing that I'm starting to notice, even with Earthrise, is that we have more translucent parts. And even Studio Series, we're getting figures that have a lot of translucent parts that's painted.
Studio Series only movie Cliff Jumper, for an example.
Yeah. I know that we're getting the Studio Series 86 movie.
And speaking of the 80s Studio Series 86 movie, they showed off Blur, Jazz, and Leader Grimlock today. They showed some pictures on TFW 2005.
Yeah, hey, is that wheelie able to transform?
No, No, it's just going to be like a character that can sit on his shoulder. I looked at the images today. Let me answer Dark's question. He says the Battle Cat any different from the Yeah, it actually is. It's got a lot. It's very posable. It's got the knee bends. It's very posable. The mask comes off like the original. You got the head can go up, down, all the way around. Mouth opens and closes. And be honest, I actually like
two choice because the Cringer and the Battle Cat.
Yeah. Well, I actually like this Battle Cat for the price, and also see I've got the Matty Collector, Panther, and also Battle Cat, and I actually like this Battle Cat better than my Matty Collector one that came out several years back. It's hefty and that you can actually and very nicely done detail to it, and the pricing was just like spot on. I was like, cannot beat it, and it's nice to be able to have it, put He-Man on it, and that was the thing because I mean, one of my friends that also he typically gets nothing but Starscreams, but he let's see which one fits the best. Filmation He-Man, yeah, which comes with Cringer. No, this one didn't come with Cringer.
No, it is Cringer.
Well, yeah, it is, but it's Battle Cat. But Cringer would be a lot smaller. Yeah.
I feel like we got to judge it on different expectations. Like He-Man, like really think about like He-Man, because most of the molds are all the same. Of course, they're going to be a lower price. I mean, think about it. The original line had like a few basic molds.
Mm-hmm.
And with Transformers, it's like a completely different ballpark. I feel like we got to judge them based on the standards.
Okay.
Like Transformers, you got to work two things in one. I mean, for example, like, look at Star Convoy. This is technically like a bunch of figures in one. Mini robot, giant robot, truck cab, trailer. Like, it's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, but for the price point, it's not really that much different in the ballpark. I mean, when you're taking from the figures and you're going, okay, prime example, let's say you're going to the store, and this is something that I've noticed when we with even the aliens, you're paying $20 for a figure like this, and this is literally the same size as the leader class. When Hasbro has the ability to reuse, and we see where they use the remolds, and they use those several times over. The Super 7 is making back the money on the Ultimate line. Yeah, and I enjoyed the Super 7 He-Man, and I just recently got some of the Super 7 Transformer figures. They don't transform, but but they're more for the collector, like the Matty Collector. When I compare this He-Man here with my Matty Collector Ultimate, or even my Matty Collector, the original He-Man that came out, this guy here is still, in my eyes, is better because he's more articulated, and he looks the part, and the price point is what's been keeping it down. See, the thing is that Hasbro is now, we're seeing where their price point, let's say like Godbot, he says that where he's at is like $10 more than what we pay here per one.
I mean, there's a price like increase every line now.
Yeah, every line has.
You know what? The one thing hang on. Okay. Do you know what the one thing that the leader class Transformers has been what's been taken away from the leader class? I think after Dark of the Moon, that was the last time they put electronics in a leader class, if I'm not mistaken, with the Sentinel Prime. So now you don't get no lights and sounds or anything like that with leader classes nowadays anymore.
Well, that goes with the Ultimate. If you get just a regular toy line that's geared towards kids, but they're the bigger scale, like the Optimus Prime, the Megatron, they had their gimmick, but they didn't have any sound effects with them either.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that we're getting to a point where it's like in the 80s You had so many different toy lines and Mask and G.I. Joe and He-Man and then Transformers and then, those lines and were geared towards the kids, and it was the price that was going to make it. And this was the thing that I thought was really interesting is that I went to several different Walmarts to try and get this. Thanks to Teresa at the Walmart she was at, she had some still, but they have a whole big old display, and those things are looking bare. And then you go to the other stuff that's in the aisles that's the same price or a little bit more for the same size figure, such as the G.I. Joe. Not a big presence right now at Walmart's, but you got Fortnite, and those figures are $20 with all those extra accessories. And a lot of people are looking at the prices going up and the figures getting smaller and smaller. That's why with Transformers, I'm looking at going, well, you can clearly see in all the line for the Siege and Earthrise, they use the same types of parts. If you take a look at really the waist and the hip, it's just like how the He-Man has the same waist and hip on all the figures. Well, the Seekers and even the Optimus, all of them have that basic square waist part. So you see where they're reusing parts. It's not like they're re-engineering the figures. That's why I was like, I'm looking at going, okay, why is the price going up more? That's what I'm curious about. Because eventually it's going to be like how are they dealing with comic books right now? Comic books ended up pricing themselves out. They kept going up. And, people's budgets aren't getting bigger. They're actually getting smaller. But that's why I'm concerned about Transformers, because with that, I look at it and going, okay, it's coming up to Christmas time. And we're not seeing any, the shelves are not being stocked, with those figures. But
when Kingdom comes out, it is going to put a lot into our budget. Like for me, if I go to Walmart or something like that, I can only buy one figure. Like I could either buy I make $30 a week, so I could either buy a deluxe or a Voyager, and I'd have to make a choice on what I'd have to buy.
Oh, Dark, and that really sad, man.
I am too.
Goddamn 2020.
I'm real good friends with three guys that own three different separate comic book stores, and this year has been it's like they call it the apocalypse, and they're just waiting for things to get back to some type of normalcy. But that's the reason why DC made a deal with McFarlane for McFarlane Toys to start doing the Batman, the DC superheroes, instead of going directly to the stores. And what they had been doing in the past is going directly to the comic book stores. They made a deal with Todd McFarlane, and now these are getting into the store, the same type of quality figures. And that's the other thing too, is that you're looking at those figures, and they're very detailed and nice quality, and their price is actually $5 cheaper now at Walmart than when they were in the comic book store, because they were typically between $25-$30 per figure, and now he's got them down to about $20 per figure.
Well, something else I noticed about Transformers, feels like the quality's getting a lot better. Maybe that's why more plastic, more articulation. It's like a wrist. Again, look at Earthrise Optimus Prime. I've heard that figure be called mini masterpiece, better than MP44. Look at Studio Series A6 Hot Rod. I've seen pictures of it. That thing looks incredible. There's a caveat to it, though.
And same as the Kingdom T-Rex Megatron. Look at that thing. That thing almost looks like a shrunken down masterpiece. They put a lot of love into it. Not only that, both T-Rex and robot mode. It looks awesome and so nice looking. They put too much. They managed that figure. Or what they did with that figure is good.
I agree.
That is like a masterpiece figure.
Sorry. Finished it.
No, I'm good. No, it's okay. You good? I'm done anyways. Go ahead.
So I think it kind of justifies the increase. I mean, again, that Megatron looks beautiful, and like I feel like it's justified.
Okay. I agree that the fact that the figures are looking awesome, and we're getting the best figures, best quality looking figures we have in a long time. But at the same time, I'm looking at the fact that miniature, he is. I have him right up here, little miniature MP of Optimus Prime. The only problem is that he was not worth the $50 price tag. You know, he just wasn't. I mean, when you take a look at the trailer that comes with it, the trailer doesn't have any paint apps on it. There's like, you can't fit any vehicle up inside inside of it, so that kind of takes away from the playability. Yeah, Prowl, but I mean that's about it. I mean, you're not
jumper, and I think, but then again, you gotta remember that they also are re-releasing it with like at a cheaper price point.
Yeah.
But why are you? But see, that's wasting a whole figure. I mean, you're talking about for the Walmart exclusive, I think it is. But see, that's like that's essentially what I was saying, is that they're only sharing the exact same figures, and they're just putting new boxes on it. That's an old tactic that was done back in the 80s, that if you had a figure that didn't really sell that well, you had a lot in stock, well, then what you would do is that you would go back and let people put a little bit more paint app on it. You would slap a new sticker on it, and then you would make it where it was a rarity. And then people would go and flock and buy it. I mean, that's the reason why you have the figures that Walmart has. The ones that Walmart ended up getting is pretty much ones they had already released in the first wave. And, you know, the only ones I'm seeing from the second release for Marvel, I mean, for Hasbro, is going to be Bumblebee, is Alita 1. But then again, you take a look at Alita 1. I'm going to get it. I got the RC. I love that figure. She's beautiful. She's awesome. But she is a shell former. I mean, she is not a transformer.
And you can get her to stand on one leg. No, you can get her to stand on one leg, no problem, even with the backpack.
Yeah, you can. But at the same time, you take a look at that figure and you put it next to RC 30th anniversary RC. That one transforms a lot better, and if it had the same type of paint apps that this RC had, that figure would be superb. It would blow away the Earth Roz RC, which makes, let's see, for me guessing to look at this way as long as figures are more of that.
Still, I doubt they're going to raise the prices any more than that.
I hope they don't.
And if I'm not mistaken, in the Studio Series line, Hot Rod's going to be a Voyager class, but he's going to be a deluxe scaled. And the only reason why he's being priced at the Voyager price point is because he's going to come with all kinds of guns, a little blast effect type thing for the Matrix of Leadership, and also you're getting the Matrix with him too.
Well, I mean, that's the thing there, is that with a figure like that, I can see understanding why the price is up on that.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is when you are coming out with, let's take a look at the Seekers for a second. I mean, for the Siege line, how many Seekers did we end up with? 10?
Well, we got the Rainmakers and the three main Seekers, Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker, Redwing, and Hotwing.
Yeah, Redwing.
I counted 9.
Yeah.
So 9. But
don't forget Hotlink, by the way.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so with that, I'm looking and saying, okay, that's again same mold, same figure. If you're coming out with these carbon copy of each figure, you're reusing the same molds, so your cost should be coming down because you're you're using the same thing. I'm just concerned that we're getting these really, really cool looking figures right now, just like we did when we had Transformers Prom, just like we did when earlier lines that came out, and then all of a sudden we started getting the same price, but then we started getting all these gaps, and then we started getting cheaper plastic, and then we started getting problems with the figures and QC issues and stuff like that. That's what I'm concerned about, because I'm looking at the track record of Hasbro right now, and I'm seeing this track record where they go for a price hike, and the first wave of it, they show you're hooked in, like where you're fishing, you're hooked in the jaws, and you're being reeled in, and then by the time you get there, by the end of everything, they go back to a cheaper quality on some things, but the price does not go down. It doesn't reflect. I do think the prices reflect right now. I'm just concerned after Kingdom, will we still get figures at this quality?
I think so.
I want to say this real quick. To be honest, I agree. When you mention the Seeker thing, they keep re-releasing the same mold. The price should be going down, and that's how and they can't. Like Skywarp is just a nightmare for right now. Like,
I gave up.
But to be honest, I can understand why he's going for that price, because Skywarp is, if I'm not mistaken, he has been one of the Seekers that's been hard to get for quite some time. I don't know for how long, but people have been wanting a Skywarp to complete their Seekers.
That would be the same size as the original. Absolutely. Yeah. Like what Dark just said here, I agree. I am more willing to compromise my standards as long as I get, I'm getting the figures. But okay, you got it, bait and switch. Yeah, I just don't want that bait and switch at the end of it. I think right now the Transformers are the best they have ever been. But what I'm also concerned about is that for the longest time, Transformers has not really had competition like it did back in the 80s, and now all of a sudden we have a G.I. Joe line coming out. See, the Transformers that you're seeing right now is geared towards my generation, the G1 generation. Well, also they're not turning G1. You had He-Man, you had G.I. Joe, you had Mask, you had all these other toy lines. Well, at the same time, we're now seeing that happening right now, like something we hadn't seen in a long time, is that there's other 80s collectible genres that are being produced right now, and the only reason why they're being produced right now is that they are geared towards my generation. My concern is that Hasbro has not had that type of competition since the 80s and the early 90s, but now you've got Mattel coming full force with the He-Man line, with the Masters of the Universe line. They're coming full force. You got the 6-inch G.I. Joes that's coming out, and they're getting ready to come out with vehicles.
Hasbro make those?
Hasbro leased them out to Jax, I think it is. Jax, the toy company that did Fortnite. Yeah. Not going to go down, give up any profit. Yeah, see, and that's exactly. And see, for me, I don't mind a price hike that's $5 more. I don't mind that. I don't mind a deluxe going if it has the quality that we got with the Cliff Jumper, and it's a $20 figure, and typically his size was a $10 figure, but we get the quality like we did with the Cliff Jumper. I'm game. I'm all in.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. But that's why I'm like, as long as we don't lose that quality that they have. I'm just worried that they have set a standard, a bar, with these lines that's been coming out, and seeing what's getting ready to come out for the Beast Wars. That's going to be a part of the Kingdom line. Nikki is like a schoolgirl, ecstatic, because she's like, yes, this is how they should look. This is, there's no extra baggage or anything on that. I think that, in a way, if Hasbro keeps the level that it's got, and it doesn't start cheaping out, using more translucent pieces and stuff like that, then I don't think they'll have a problem with the price.
I don't see any translucent pieces on Kingdom, actually. From what we've got, they'll look pretty solid. Like, sure, there's going to be translucent pieces, but, like, we're not getting any Kingdom. Like, really look at it. Like, in retrospect, like, I feel like we're in a good place so far.
I agree, and that and he's right. They're trying to get our money before we hit retirement and die off. So I mean, Generation X is on. We are about to become extinct.
What's Generation X?
What's that?
I'm sorry, I'm 19. Just what's Generation X?
That's okay. That's our generation. Like you have, every generation gets a I guess you could say a title. And we're Generation X. You also have what's the millennials, boomers.
Yeah.
The pioneers.
Yeah, that. And so it's usually a title that goes with a certain age. The time you were born fits into the time that you're in that generation, I guess, gap there. I hope I explained that better. In terms.
What do you think is next for Transformers? Like, I gotta say, probably Armada. Or, like, considering how they're going all in with everything G1, yes, I still really want Point Blank. Like, he's my favorite Target Master. I would even kill for, like, a 3D printed head for Point Blank. But, like, other than that, like, I feel like if Kingdom does well, they're going all in with Beast Wars. Because, like, I would love to see who's the one character? I want to see some of Beast Wars second. Like, I've got the original Apache and Scuba, like, during my room. But, like, if this line does well, who knows what we'll get? Magnaboss, Tripredacus, Wild Convoy, Big Convoy?
And that's what I'm wondering, too. I'm wondering where Hasbro is going to go from here. Because I think Beast Wars is next, not Beast Wars popping up with G1 full on Beast Wars. I'm wondering. I would be down for that, but the quality and the characters that we're getting for Kingdom, I don't see their next trilogy being completely based off. Cause right now, what was surprising is that we were told that we're going to get two new movies that were going to come out. And one of the things they showed was this artwork of Optimus Primal. And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get a Beast Wars. Well, that didn't get greenlit. What ended up getting greenlit was a sequel to the Bumblebee and the final to the Transformers Bayverse dealing with Unicron in the sixth movie. So those are the two movies that got greenlit. The Beast Wars did not. And
whichever one, whatever it is, all that was scheduled. I think it was for 2022 or 2020 or maybe next year. I think it's 2022. They have a release date or when they'll start shooting the new Transformers movie.
Hey,
yeah.
Could you say the War for Cybertron trilogy counts as a trilogy of movies?
The War for Cybertron?
Yeah. Like, something I noticed is that, like, with the figures, there's, like, an evolution. Like, look at the Megatron. That's, like, beginning of the war. Regular Siege Megatron, middle of the war. Netflix exclusive. Very end of the war on Cybertron. Go to Earth. And then we got Earthrise Megatron. Then he becomes Galvatron with Kingdom. Then after that, he becomes Megatron again, but with a twist. You see, he's now G2 Megatron. And maybe he becomes a select one, and, like, eventually he dies, and much like Optimus brought back smaller thanks to Maximals and Predacons, since we're getting them in Beast in Kingdom. It's kind of like a story. Same with Optimus. You guys remember that little story going on with the toys?
I do. And I think it was like I was talking to a couple of friends over the weekend, and one thing that was being said is that, really the Siege cartoon felt really like a movie. If you put it all together, watched it all at once, it was its own miniature movie. The next one's coming out where we're going to have it go to Earthrise, that apparently is going to feel like it's its own little movie. And then you get Kingdom, because you're only getting 6 episodes each, and so that's giving you about an hour and a half, or almost close to 2 hours. What's that?
Real quick. That reminds me, I can hardly wait to bring this up right now. Remember ACP when we were talking this one day, and I mentioned the thing about Optimus Prime, Alpha Trion, and Elita 1. Remember that thing I mentioned? Oh, all right, I'm going to bring it up. Okay. All right. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to go that never thought about this is going to be like, what the F?
That's
all right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay. Optimus Prime and Elita 1 are like a couple, but there is a twist in that. There is a twist. In G1, Optimus Prime was and Elita 1, if I'm not mistaken, were damaged by Megatron, and they had to be taken to Alpha Trion. And in a way, he changed them, I guess, or something like that. And I guess they're like his kids or something like that. And like Optimus Prime is Alpha Trion's son, and Elita 1 is Alpha Trion's daughter.
Adopted.
Yeah, adopted. There you go.
Magnus. I think Dion became Ultra Magnus because, he called him old friend and like.
Yeah.
They seem to have one history.
Stepsister.
I agree. It's going to deal with marketing. Absolutely, it's going to deal with marketing on how they're going to get things to be pushed, and that's how you get a toy line. I'm curious, though, if this 10th anniversary of Transformers Prime is not like a slight hint of what the next line could be that's coming out. Because everybody was upset for not getting a 4th season for Prime to finally be able to have that. Yeah. To be completed.
It doesn't count.
What's that?
I was gonna say RD, but I thought you were gonna start talking about like the War for Cybertron, the war with the toy line. But like, anyway, sorry.
No.
Anyway, I ended up looking up some stuff on about, since they're re-releasing the Breakdown or War Breakdown and the Jet Viacon. From what I heard about the Breakdown, the only reason why he was not released in the U.S. is because he was too big to be a Voyager at the time, and he was too small to be a leader class, and all that, and it kind of messed everything up. And the only way you could get that figure is by ordering it from China or something like that. You had to pay to get it in the U.S. Get it.
Isn't that figure the size as the Bulkhead figure, from the first wave?
Huh?
So didn't that Breakdown like the same size as the Bulkhead figure they released?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Or like the Optimus, like it was around that size?
Yeah, I think, because he was...
I wish I was the one that released here.
I'm gonna confess this right out of my mouth right now. As much as I love Transformers Prime, the only thing that makes me hate Transformers Prime more than anything is what they did to Breakdown and how they took him out like that. Like how he was treated. First he gets killed by Arachnid, then he gets a human or Silas has to be put inside Breakdown, and then he gets treated like a lab rat, and then turned into a vampire Terracon thing. And like in one of the episodes when Bulkhead goes to rescue Breakdown from Mech, they were trying, I guess before, the people that were making Transformers Prime were trying to, I guess, open the doors to the possibility of Breakdown becoming an Autobot one day, and they decided to scrap that, and now look what they did. Like, I hated what they did to Breakdown like that. Like, wow. I love Transformers Prime, but that's the only thing I complain about from it.
Then they made him a combiner limb. Then he went back to his own universe, and then he and Knockout hang out as Autobots. Like, because in the Unite Warriors continuity, like Japanese G1, they brought Breakdown into Unite Warriors, along with Roller and Thrust from Armada. But yeah, Breakdown did get a happy ending if you bring that into effect.
Did he? I thought he was completely obliterated at the very after Silas was a part of him.
No, Unicron brought him back.
That's right. Because Unicron was also part of Earth and was okay.
No, like the G1 Unicron. Like, okay, let me explain this. You guys ever hear of Unite Warriors?
No,
I have not.
Well, it's kind of like a pseudo in between a head, like Master Force and Victory. Explains how Cybertron got rebuilt, how Thrust and Trick Diamond, like two characters, ended up in the Legends comics. It also explains a lot of retcons. It basically explains a lot, but here's what happens. Cyclonus comes across the ghost of Galvatron. I won't spoil it, but anyway, they end up going to where the remains of Unicron are. And Unicron brings forth these warriors, Breakdown from the Aligned Continuity, Thrust from Armada, and Roller, who was trapped in another dimension. This is the G1 Roar. And Starscream, like the G1 Starscream, he's still a ghost, but like, and they become a combiner. Now, after that, like they all split off. Roller ends up guarding Optimus Prime until he's reformatted.
Now,
Dark Convoy is built.
Is this in continuity? These stories, or is this more?
Yeah, they're in continuity.
Okay.
Anyway, Breakdown eventually makes it back to his own universe with and meets up with Knockout.
Stop talking, please.
At least it. Yeah. That's actually what happens. Like, and then like the Decepticons from RID come in at one point, and yeah. Trust me, you got to read the translations.
Okay. I'll do it. I agree with what also Beast Wars does need some, like Nikki said, needs some love. It really does. And I don't want to see it kind of get butt in and kind of like overshot because of the Kingdom. But that kind of feels like what it's doing. Because, I mean, you take a look at the figures they're coming out with, they look awesome. Are they going to redo those? I think that's the reason why we've not seen any of the Dinobots in any of the line for Earthrise or Siege or even Kingdom. We're still not seeing the Grimlocks and Dinobots is because they were already made for the Combiner Wars, and I think
Studio Series 2.
Yeah, and then you got the Studio Series Grimlock that's coming out, which
I think Slag.
Is Slag coming out also?
Yeah, it said I think Slag was coming with a Daniel figure.
Okay. And see, right there, that's pretty much going to my niche for me. You know, get Cyclonus from the Kingdom, get Galvatron from the Kingdom, turn around and get Scourge, get Grimlock, and the other ones from the 86 and Cup, and that's going to be my gem right there. That'll be my be all end all for me. That's there because they look so good. I saw the Hot Rod, and that's just a literally that looks just like my Masterpiece Hot Rod. They're identical, transformation and all of that's there.
Which one? The original, the new one, or the Target Master one?
The original one. I have to go get it, and it's not in here. I just want to see which one. Let's make sure. He did not cut. I didn't get the Target Masterpiece one.
They are also doing a Slag.
Okay, nice.
Slag's my favorite Dinobot. He's just dig. Because he's kind of.
I like it. I like the fact that they're doing that, and getting all those inspired to double dip on them. Yeah, I mean that those look right there, those figures right there, and the prices for them, to me, that is worth it because those. I mean, you got a Cup, and his arm comes off, his leg comes off. I mean, you can really do reenactment to a whole nother level of playability with the figures. I'm also ecstatic about getting that Grimlock leader class size. She's like, finally can get that one.
And the funny part about the cup is you can actually take when you take all the legs off and all the arms, you can actually treat him like he's a weaponizer. You can put, like, for an example, 6 guns legs on him and all of that.
That, or you can just feed him to the Sharkticons. That is so cool. They just released that set. We're getting Cup that can come apart. Holy shit! It's like it's all coming full circle, and like.
And he has the Energon goodies.
Well, I mean, I got the Alicon just recently, and I'm going to do a review on him.
Speaking of stuff, what figures did you guys get in the past few weeks?
In the past few weeks, Nikki ended up getting Alicon. I got the Judge, Quintesson Judge. Trying to think, what else did we get? Oh, it's in my pile to do reviews. I don't have them in front. Then I also got the He-Man figures. But shoot. Put me on the spot now. I can't remember. I got my box in the other room of my Transformers I was going to do. Lord of mercy. I got Double Dealer. Haven't done that review yet.
And for me, the last Transformers figure I got was Earthrise Grapple.
Nice. I got Earthrise Megatron. In all honesty, he's actually better than the Siege one. I'm going to do a video on it. I got, let's see here. Who else did I get? Meteor Fire and Wild Wheel, got them. I got the vintage Snake Mountain to restore.
Okay.
Restored, had a lot of fun with that. Oh, for my 40th subscriber special, I got, and listen to this, LG Triptychon.
Wow, that's nice. Very nice.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'll be working on that tomorrow.
Oh, Studio Series finally completed the Studio Series Devastator.
Hey, did you put it together yet?
No, Nikki wants us to do that together, and she wants to do it where I was like, it's going to take us forever to put all those things together, and she's like, yes, that's what she wants. She wants to, because that's her baby, so she wants to put them all together and do all in one video. So it's probably going to be like an hour-long video.
And you also completed your Wreckers too.
Yes, I did. I completed the Wreckers. Oh, I got a Igniter.
Which one?
The one that was Hasbro Pulse exclusive.
And Rotostorm also.
Yeah,
Rotostorm.
I forgot you got.
Oh, and you got Exhaust. You got Exhaust.
I got Exhaust too. Yes, thank you.
Oh, and I also got Grease Pit. I forgot to mention Grease Pit.
Grease Pit. Airwave. Airwave's the other one also.
Oh, yeah, you got Airwave too.
Yeah. I'm not going to get Hot House. He looks kind of lazy. Like he's the Betatron of Generation Select.
Yeah.
Betatron, barely anything different, but with red PJs on.
I was like,
hang on, wait. Hey, Hot House, or that's okay. Airwave went to the beach and decided to get a tan, but instead he came out as that. That's how red he got.
The head sculpt in roller mode is actually colored like the original Micromaster. What is Hot House's excuse? I mean, that is just so cool. Like Grease Pit. Like, also that's an amazing name.
Yeah, Grease Pit.
And also, the most crazy thing is this: the Airwave about that figure, that he was actually a playset during the G1. He was actually a playset for G1, but the figure of Airwave is the whole aircraft carrier in Earthrise. But back then, that was just a playset. Airwave was just the little purple jet that came with him.
It came with him.
Same as Grease Pit, Hot House, and Ironworks. Those did not transform. They were just like little play sets.
And little guys they're named after.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what was I going to say? What? I was on Grease Pit. No,
he's saying exactly what I've been thinking. He said, "When you getting these here, I mean, in a way, with the figures that they've got and how awesome they are, they'll pretty much be my end all be all for a while till they come out with something even more dynamic. The other thing too is the Cyberverse is getting 2 movies. Did y'all see that?
I'm excited for those.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really excited because man, I would like to know what happened to the actual Megatron because we don't actually, huh?
Megatron X killed him.
Well, when he get, huh?
I thought he got killed too.
Yeah, he did get killed. If you're talking about Megatron X, he's going to be in the movie, but like.
Yeah, but the Megatron from that universe are.
Well, when Megatron X lifted him up, well, he burnt his chest and burnt the logo off. But when Prime said, "You'll never take back this Matrix," and then he like used some Jedi power type thing and ripped the Matrix out of him, he was still alive. But
no,
he might.
No, he didn't.
The Matrix.
Wait, which Megatron are you talking about?
You're talking about the Megatron from the Cyberverse, where X picks him up and then he rips out the Matrix out of his chest, right?
Yeah.
I thought he died at that point. I thought that he went offline.
Well, the Matrix might have been keeping him alive for the last. Like, I'm sure he would have lived with the Matrix in him, but I guess when Megatron X took the Matrix out, it, I guess, killed him because there was nothing else to keep him alive. So yeah, that might have happened.
And we'll say so. And that's how they get us, brother. Right there. You always want to get it from the same line, but Hasbro's smart. They're smart. They got smarts up there. They know that us completists and stuff, they'd be like, but I just need one more to get this line complete. Nope. You're going with that character, it's going to be on this other line. I think that's what they're doing with Cyclonus. I think that's what.
When are we going to get Thrust?
What's that?
I just remember what I was going to say. When are we going to get Thrust? I mean, we saw him and like.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom?
I hope so.
I made a joke about this that Earthrise Starscream and Thrust are going to be in their own box because, hey, if you want, you can recreate the alligator scene when they landed in the water and they got attacked by all those gators.
Oh, when it comes with Skull Cruncher.
Yes, that would be nice. Skull. There is a Skull Cruncher coming out for the Ultimate class.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
And also.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Good boy.
And also, the best part is the other Dinobots are going to be coming into the Cyberverse TV movies, and they're going to be stowaways from what, because it said in the article that there's the stowaway Dinobots. So it's, and I heard some speculation. Are those Dinobots going to be like alternate, like from other dimensions, kind of like Grimlock? Yeah, that'd be interesting.
They better come out with Thrust because that was my very first Seeker.
My very first Seeker was Starscream, but my favorite Conehead is Ramjet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got Thrust and not Skyward, excuse me, Thundercracker. That was the only 2 Seekers I ever had in my collection as a kid and stuff. Was those 2, and I had to do a trade to get one to get the other one.
And the most crazy part is, from the Earthrise trailer, they might be part of the mercenary group, the Coneheads.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Speaking of the mercenaries, you know Bug Bite?
Yes, I got him pre-ordered.
Yeah, here's the thing. He's originally a GoBot. So like,
yep.
Big thing, because like now the GoBots are officially part of Transformers animation. And they're like all these characters: Impactor, Rack and Ruin, Whirl, Deadlock. Like
also, real quick, before I forget. Also, the GoBot planet was also on one of the Earthrise maps. I forgot what the name of the planet was.
Tron.
Yeah, that planet is good. Was in the list, I think, for some of the. I guess for some figures that's supposed to be coming out, like along with Ratchet and Lifeline. There's 4 others or something like that that's supposed to be coming out, and the GoBot planet was mentioned.
Well, speaking of GoBots and stuff like that, did you see the Diaclones coming out with a big convoy? I was actually looking at Forbes magazine, and they had a whole article based off of Diaclone, and it was given this rundown of a history of Transformers, and that it talked about the 3 different lines that end up forming what Transformers we have today in the U.S. And Tomikara is going to be creating this huge Diaclone convoy, big convoy, and it's going to be modernized, and it's going to come with people. It's going to be like a space station. It's going to be a future truck for like the moon. The thing is huge. It is a major play set with an actual leader class size Optimus Prime or big convoy a part of it. Let me see if I can find the picture of it real quick.
Yeah. And I thought that line was dead. I thought like very under the radar of those Diaclone guys.
Yeah, no.
Real quick, has anyone seen Prime versus Prime's review of the Gigawatt figure from Back to the Future?
I saw it went up. But I have not actually seen the review for it yet.
I'm not feeling Gigawatt. I like Back to the Future, but like Ectotron made more sense.
Yeah. Let me see. Here it is. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually interested in that figure for the fact that I think that, but I'm not down for the price. That's what I was trying to say. I'm not down for the price that they have for it, and that's what bothers me, is that it's going for what $60.
I think you can get them for $29 on pre-order. I don't know.
Hey, this guy?
Now this is the Diaclone. This is the vehicle
For $60.
No, not this one. No, I'm talking about Gigawatt. Gigawatt's going to be. It's got a $60 price tag for him for a deluxe.
Dang, man.
Yeah,
that's bullcrap.
I actually got Gigawatt before P. Awesome.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness! Wow.
$30 is the regular retail. Okay, now if that's the case, then yeah, I definitely want to. But this is the figure that I was surprised by that Forbes magazine when I was reading it.
It kind of gives me Armada Overload vibes with the chest.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a bigger picture of it.
You think we'll get Powered Convoy?
That would be nice.
And maybe a Warrior based on Megatron, like the actual Megatron. Like, you know, the Warriors, those bug guys. If we can get something like that, I want a Megatron that style.
All right, so let me get this. This is going to be the price. So let me do this. Look at me multitasking and screen sharing. I have been learning some things. Like and let's share that. So here is the price for this guy, and we're looking at a $300 price tag. But the thing is, I mean, he is
beautiful.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and then you get this is the vehicle, one of the vehicle modes that you have with him. This is the other.
Does look like Roller.
Yeah.
It's like 2 vehicle modes sandwiched together, and I can't believe none of us ever thought of this before.
Yep. And then it comes with these actual little figures too, and this is the other big mode that we're getting. Oh, and the treads move, by the way.
They're rubber.
They're rubber. Here is the whole play set.
How much is that? Wow, that thing's awesome.
Is that? I mean, that
made a die cast.
Yeah. I think some of the pieces, but I was just like, my word. And I mean, let me see, other base modes that you can make with it. It's got this whole interchangeable. And see, that's another one. That's not even the, you combine different pieces to get this one here, this size of big convoy, to get that size there. But he has miniature sizes, like you can see here at the bottom right corner. Yeah. Little jets, little lights. But yeah, I was like, wow.
I can't afford that, man.
I know. But I mean, it is
wow, $300.
Yeah.
$300. Holy crap.
You guys think it's worth it?
I think it's worth it. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, this right here, we're getting Unicron that is $600.
Wait, $600? $600? $600 for that big Unicron that can sit on a couch? That one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What about the perfect cell?
Yeah.
That's like around that price. The cell?
Yeah, the cell is. And
it's like $250, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get that.
Well, actually, to be honest.
And that's what
I'm aiming for the cell.
I'm probably going to say.
You don't need your brain. You're right. I don't know if I could get $5 for my brain.
Real quick, I'm probably going to sound crazy for this, but considering how big that Unicron is and that it can sit on a couch and heck, you could have it go fishing. That was my favorite photo, by the way. He's in planet mode. But anyways, like $600 for that Unicron, for the amount of plastic, I guess that's not bad. But depending, and plus you
stand up, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I think you need a stand to hold him up.
Well, it's like I said. Well, it's like carrying around a small child, but
yeah, and I think that thing is big. He sits on a couch.
Yeah, looking at this, I'm like, with this. I was very surprised that Diaclone reboots Battle Convoy VMAX exclusive. I was like,
what is VMAX anyway?
I think it was like their city-based lines that they had before they merged or before they came to America, before Hasbro kind of like merged them together, the different companies. And they had miniature. Their figures were getting smaller and smaller Transformers with these big city modes, and they kept add-ons and add-ons and add-ons, and that's kind of like what we got with Airwave and stuff like that. So they tried to start doing that for in the U.S. and it didn't do as well. But yeah, that's a beautiful. They used to tell me I could get millions from my brain because it's brand new, never used. That.
But can I share the screen just to show you how far we've come with Diaclone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Screen. Alrighty. Can you see different screen?
I don't see a different screen down in the bottom for me to.
Yeah. Anyway.
There you go.
Let's watch just to see how far we've come.
Oh, I'll get copyright. The music. Sound.
What?
I can get it. You can get a copyright for doing that since I don't own that. So we could show the pictures and stuff, but yeah, they're. I would love to be able to let that go for the whole time. Yeah. Sorry about that. Wait a second. And just do that. Whoops. No, that's not what I want to do. So, yeah. There we go.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I've been learning a lot of stuff with the copyright things because I'm also working on trying to do that with a community for all of us where we can actually show clips, but you have to get ones that are approved by YouTube. So that's how people end up getting copyright strikes, is when they show clips and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like, wait a second, I got a copyright strike, but I only showed
that commercial show. That was from like the late 70s.
Yep, but it's still a licensed product.
But isn't it? I can show at least the. And I'll try again. I'll mute myself.
No, I don't take chances. Yeah. So.
But still, you gotta admit, it's pretty impressive how far we've come.
Oh yeah.
But that's still an iconic shot of all the Optimus Primes.
Yeah. Oh, and that's true. They were all die-cast. I forgot about that too. Yeah, they were very. And here's
our first nightmare.
The reason why they were die-cast is because they used recycled cans that was left over from the U.S. being in Japan. They took those and reused them and made. That's how they ended up getting all the die-cast was from reused cans. I was like, man, I would love for them to do that. Talk about, hey, Hasbro gets this new thing saying, hey, we're going to give you die-cast figures, but we're going to do it with recycled cans. I'd be like down for it. Go green. Don't put them in the ocean. Don't put them in the dump. Send them to a company. Let them make figures out of them. I would be down for that. Absolutely.
Did you try it with titanium?
Did they? One of those specials though. More of a special.
No, like Galoob did the Micro Machine people. Like anyone remember G.I. Joe crossover Megatron? You know that.
Yes.
Flimsy mess.
Yeah. There's also Hot Wheels for the longest time was die-cast.
They still do die-cast, right?
They do. They're not like they were when I was a kid when they were like $1. Now they're like $5 or $10 for getting a die-cast figure for vehicle. But still, they'll last longer and they got nice heft. So.
Out of curiosity, since you grew up back in those days, how much was G1 Optimus Prime, if you remember back in those days?
Oh my gosh, G1 Optimus Prime.
Or if you remember any other characters.
Most expensive, along with Megatron.
Yeah, they were in the $10, a little bit over the $10 mark, and that was a lot. I mean, I could mow yards and save up money, and I could go and get one of the small Transformer figures such as like Beachcomber or because that was more along the lines of the figures I would get was the smaller ones, Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper and Gears.
Jumper.
Yeah. But they were still expensive. They were like, I think, he said $3, around $3 they were, because I could also get that. I could mow yards, I could get a Transformer figure, I could get a He-Man figure, and I could get my comics for under $10. Yeah, so yeah, and that would be the greatest thing, because you get a Transformer comic book, you get a Incredible Hulk or Superman or Batman, and then you turn around, you got He-Man, and He-Man was only like $3.50. G.I. Joe's was equal priced with the He-Man figures, but for some reason where I live, we didn't get a lot of the G.I. Joes that was in our area, but He-Man and Transformers, it was like boom, boom, boom. But it was for getting a bigger figure that would be like the Optimus Prime or like Thrust or someone, or those figures, that was more what Santa would bring you on Christmas. That would be the only time you would get the big ones.
What about Omega Supreme?
Yeah, he would have been around that same price too. Yeah.
What about Metroplex or Fort Max? Or
now that was the crazy thing is that now that I got older, my brothers and I ended up getting Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain. I still have mine. My mom was able to get us all those Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, and I got two other brothers. Was able to get us one each for the price that she was going to have to pay for the city mode. So it was, and those were around $30, I think, for the so.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's $120 for two castles and two mountains.
Yeah,
man.
Flag. I had a friend have that flag.
Eternia went for like $200.
Yes, the Eternia set. That was huge. It came with a roller coaster and everything with it too. So
and connectors for both the places. I think the Fright Zone was
32.
No, not 32. $30.
The Fry Zone was cheaper. It was because you also had the Hordak slime pit, and those are typically a little bit the slower. Hey AJ, glad to have you, man. Those smaller sets were a little bit cheaper. They pretty much you could get a He-Man and get one of the small play sets, the slime or the Bone Crusher, where you hold the He-Man inside of it, the slime comes out of its mouth, it's big white bones.
Yeah. I knew a guy who filled his Cobra Con with water and sprayed it at his cat.
Oh my gosh. That and it's funny. It's like out of all the stuff, I was surprised at how much I still have of the original from Transformers to I had more G.I. Joes than I thought, and then I found out why. My older brother was really into G.I. Joes, and so he didn't want them. And so when he was going into military, he put them up in storage with the other stuff. And my mom was like, "Hey, do you want these?" He's like, "No, Derek's the guy that collects that stuff. Let him have that." So I got a big old tote bin full of G.I. Joes. We're talking about the different things with the pricings and stuff with the different figures that's been coming out, and looking at the price, like with Transformers, if their prices are going up, but we get the quality that they're giving us, I'm cool with that. And then we're talking about the He-Man figures being $15 and stuff like that, going back to the pricing of stuff.
Yeah. Well, they don't have to transform.
In its era, yes, the USS Flag absolutely was, because it was so big that the jet would land on it, and it looked as if it was a scale. That thing was so huge. I was like, I remember when my friend got it, I would go over to his house because he had a little bit more money. So he had the Cobra Law, and he had Cobra Island, and then he had the Flag, and I was like, oh my gosh. But he was not into He-Man. So I was like, well.
No Cobra Con full of piss or water to spray the cat. No, I don't know the guy who peed in his Cobra Con and sprayed at his sister.
I don't know any toy from any other line was talked about in the same way. I agree. I mean, you have Voltron that came out, but USS Flag, it was like, that was the holy grail. I was at a comic book convention. What's that?
Basically like a broadside.
Oh, yeah.
A broadside, that would be perfect. Transformers X G.I. Joe, broadside.
Oh, that would be nice if they could and they have that thing transform. Oh man.
Or they can make decomposed from inhumanoids from one of those fossilizers.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. Or like they could somehow get Mattel going to a license. And I did this custom of a robot He-Man called He-Bot. It's on my channel if you guys want to check it out.
Okay.
But it featured a loudspeaker and a cargo elevator. Jesus, how much does this thing cost again? Like $300?
No, it was like 100, maybe 150, and I mean that was expensive.
Plus tax.
Yeah, for the time for that. I mean, and then what you ended up getting with Snake Mountain is Snake Mountain came out, and they also made it where it had the voice changer with the dog-looking head, and that was. With the sounds and stuff, I'm surprised mine still works. I was like surprised. The Flag transforms. I know, right? If it did, I'd be like, oh my god.
Flags do a sticker set for USS Flag for broadside and Titans Return. I think they did actually.
I would love to see. Well, that's a good thing. Would you like to see the next trilogy that they're dealing with be a Transformer G.I. Joe crossover? Something that toy line wise we've not really had.
He doesn't. Well, we've had kind of it, like Viper, Snowcat, Broadside. If you want to count that. What have we had? Who else have we had? Marissa Fairborn. That's more of a character, but like.
Yeah.
And then we had those non-transforming ones. They're doing something with Transformers Earth Wars, where like Soundwave turns into his tank, and Hounds of Vamp. And then they have the horrible comics.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind seeing them do a little like a trilogy type thing of merging those two together. G.I. Joe and Transformers, and that you get
and Matt.
Oh, Matt would be nice. Aren't
they all in like the same universe in the cartoon?
Well, in the comic book line, in the comic book line, they did what
she's like the daughter of Flint from G.I. Joe. Cobra Commander appeared in an episode. Apparently, there's like this news reporter that was in Humanoids, G.I. Joe, Gem, and Transformers. Sunbolt made a universe out of them.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, all the kids were passed out at the same time. Absolutely. I don't think they wouldn't have to worry about Generation X because that would have been the end of us right there. Boom. Transform, big old flag, transforms. Are actually descendants from G.I. Joe. Really? I was just about to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a long story. Like they became robots and it's like hard to explain, I guess.
Yeah. I would be down for it. I would actually love to see that. I would like to see, I just don't know how big the figures would have to be if they did that. How big would the vehicles be? If they did go that route, that would be interesting. But
yeah,
God, I did. That's right, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and then you had the crossover. But then you had IDW, and IDW came up with the idea of having Transformers. One of the characters that I'm a big fan of ever since I was a kid was Rome, the Last Space Knight, which I was surprised was a Hasbro creation that Marvel Comics published for them. And then they came back out with him, and I ended up getting that run. And then they ended up having the mask and G.I. Joe and oh God, I can't remember the animals that had the holographic chess pieces.
Beastformers.
Yes.
In Japan, they actually appeared in Headmasters and the LG mangas.
Oh wow!
In fact, the character White Lion or whatever his name is, he got referenced in Titan's Return, and in Japan, when he came with Double Cross, they actually painted him up like that. There was also Platinum Tiger and Hedgehog. Yeah, Battle Beast.
Takara turned the 12-inch dudes into cyborgs. Oh, okay. So, because I remember the original G.I. Joes was the big ones, and I even have the one with the beard. He has the fuzzy head and the fuzzy beard, and he's got all green, and it's the old G.I. Joe looking. What about the voice? Most of the voices were the same as Cobra Commander, Starscream. Yep.
And Decompose.
Yep. Under the Transformer name. I think it would be interesting to see, Hasbro also bring out Mask. I would like to see that. I think that would be a good. Or who remembers the not Inhumans? What was it?
Inhumanoids.
The Inhumanoids. Yeah.
I started discovering it, and I could see them doing like a Decompose. Like, if we're getting GoBots in the fiction now,
yeah.
I mean, like, what do you guys think is next? We got GoBots popping up now that don't suck. We're gonna use stacks, and you know what? They have the stupidest names for GoBots, like Dive, or like I'm not making it up. Dive.
Arrow.
He turns into a submarine.
They're trying to introduce. They're trying to bring back the GoBot series. They're trying to remake it.
No.
No.
They will never do the
Gyro Robo.
Oh my God, Gyro Robo.
Aerobot. There was another one called Aerobot or something like that.
That was Transformers GoBots.
Oh.
Well, speaking of GoBots, you take a look at Maverick. Maverick looks like a modern day version of what was the GoBot that was the aircraft. There was the fighter jet.
Eagle Robo.
Was that his name? Eagle Robo?
That was Machine Leader 1, which is a stupid name.
GoBot.
I mean, GoBot.
Yeah, GoBots. Yeah, GoBots were cool like Mega Blocks. If you couldn't afford to get the Legos, but you could get Mega Blocks. You know It's like those old GI Joe, the obscure characters, or those those character rejects that like GI Combat. And you get those as a kid and be like, yeah, that's not GI Joe. That's
man, I was actually tired. Like when I was watching the little ads for the GoBot series, like when they show off the toys, they have the ads for the toys and they have that GoBots. Like, oh my god, I can't. No.
Robot.
Nightmare.
See, but there's much more that it can be. Transformers, GoBots.
They were on sale first, absolutely. Nobody want to GoBots. When you saw the cartoon as a kid,
Hey,
GoBots came out before Transformers.
Let's go GoBots.
Yeah, they came out like 6 or 8 months before Transformers ever hit the market. Hasbro had this scheme of what they were going to do, and boom, they popped out. And the only thing that saved Transformers was the cartoon. The cartoon for Transformers was not like geared towards a 3-year-old. You
joke.
Yeah.
Like the GoBots cartoon is a joke. Like, why do you with these dumb humans and like it's Hanna-Barbera and like
oh god, yeah, Hanna-Barbera. They
just die already. I mean, don't get me wrong, they give us a bunch of cool stuff, wacky races.
Yeah, but they try to push that with another kids line, and that's the reason why it totally flopped, because they were trying to still hold on to the generation that was part of Scooby-Doo, and also
wacky races, rip-offs.
Yeah, and so that was the generation they were trying to hold on to, and that's the thing that I, as a fan, as a collector, that's the one thing I never want to see happen to Transformers. Am I boring? What's wrong with you?
Okay. Well, we're talking about weird Transformer knockoffs, so I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, toys on their own were nice. I still have some of my GoBots. I still got the little red car. I was surprised, but they were very nicely done. I mean, and they actually have more articulation, some of them, than the Hasbro.
I give you McDonald's changeables.
Crypto. Oh no!
Oh wait a second.
No! Oh god, those! Oh my god, those things!
He's one of the better ones, actually.
I remember those things. Oh my god!
I found that like Eternal Con. It's really kind of cute.
Yeah, I was surprised that
GoBot.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the ones that they have coming out now. That's the Transformers that oh god, I can't remember what they're called. Like, what's that?
Bots, or like I call it name, or they should just call them the dives. That's no wait, dives is too stupid.
Wait, are those the things that have the little toilet thing? That
just pretend the cartoon didn't exist. I did too. I was like, yeah, these are Transformers. Oh, we got you a Transformers to GoBot. I'd be like, okay, throw in the package, keep the Transformer. But yeah, that was something that that was the thing too, is that during that era, you started seeing that the cartoons had more of an adult feel towards them. They were, blasters that would shoot. That's the reason why, G.I. Joe did so well. Even though Cobra and G.I. Joe suck at their aim. I mean, they miss every damn time. Why would you even be using it? Just throw the gun, just start throwing rocks at each other, because they would miss all the time. I mean, that would be the closest thing they could do as like
the G.I. Joe character.
Oh god, they were horrible aim. Horrible aim. My dad.
Who trained them? You were trained in the military. Wwho trained them?
Did you have a shitty... What the hell's up with this? He's like right next to him. He can't even shoot him right. He's just shooting, and the bullet they got like as a magic bullet just misses. But it was the lasers. That was the other thing with Transformers, is that you actually would see them get shot, injured. That was something that cartoons did not have. Yeah, you also had certain characters that would get killed and died. Something that never happened in anything that came out from the Hanna-Barbera era.
What about real Ghostbusters?
Oh God, the real
That's not an
Ghostbusters.
adult show, actually. It wasn't meant to sell toys either. That was the thing with I mean, there were actually ghosts of people that came back to fix a mistake. Like I think, yeah, but they had like episodes where they went to hell. Like,
Yeah.
actually, it's on Netflix. You guys should watch it.
Oh, I'm a big Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters.
You ever seen Boogeyman Cometh?
Yep. You had certain topics and themes that were talked about, and that's the reason why there was another show that was called Ghostbusters, and you had a monkey, an ape, and you had the car that talked, and it was like GoBots. It was awful. But at the same time, you got the real Ghostbusters and having to come out and call it the real Ghostbusters because they had not, copyrighted the name for TV and for that. And then they come out and they went on what they had already been seeing that was working. The toy lines that were selling, the toy lines that were actually doing well, typically had more of a adult feel to them. They were more edgy. They were more dynamic. I was always surprised that Thundercats didn't catch on, or even Silverhawks didn't catch on as well as He-Man, because He-Man with Filmation, I mean, He-Man, when you take a look at the old stuff, He-Man was still with that Hanna-Barbera type antics and feel to the cartoon. It was still campy. It was still funny. It wasn't really adult, where they were dealing with adult situations like you were dealing with the G.I. Joe, Transformers, the real Ghostbusters, or even, but yet He-Man made it, and Thundercats didn't really do as well as He-Man, toy wise, or even keeping the audience as long.
What the hell is Turbo Teen?
Turbo Teen, wasn't that little the guy that would transform into a car? He was a human. If I remember correctly, I remember having nightmares. He would actually transform. He'd be a boy, a teenager, and then he would transform into this like red sports car. If I'm remembering correctly, his hands would turn to wheels, and his face was spread out and become the grill of the car. Yeah.
Oh God.
Giant robots, so it became pointless.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about is that Robot Chicken skit where he gets beaten up and then compacted, and when he turns back, it's like, kill me.
The Cats, yes, the Cats cartoon where they were space space. Yeah, that was Kit. Yes, Silverhawks and Thundercats had the best opening, from hands down, best opening to a show ever. If you've never seen it, you need to look them up. When you get Mom Ra, that was like just brought fear into your heart. And then you see Silverhawks, it would be Silverhawks, and they would have the guy that did the jazz and the kid that would just whistle, that was Copper. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, TFN.
Hey, can I invite him to the chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. I forgot to do that. Thank you for.
I'll do it. Don't worry, I got it up.
Thank you. Yeah. Are you gonna actually put it in the? You know what? I'll just throw it out in the link for anyone. I meant to do that earlier. Totally forgot. I got sidetracked. That's what I meant to do. Sorry. There you go, guys. I apologize. Master Far reminded me of it. And there's a link. Anybody can jump in while we're having a discussion about cartoons. It went from, are we worried that the Transformers are going to go back to having not good parts as the quality, but now we're getting into the cartoons, which I love. I'm going to play with the intros now. I'm going to play. Yeah, I mean, I still hear it in the back of my head, man. It's like, boom. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Hey, Sweet Pea.
Hey, Nikki.
They said, hey.
Oh, hey. Do you know where it is?
Your other pen with the dark blue?
Yeah.
I don't. I'll find it later.
I can't find the batteries for this either. Those have been misplaced too. They were in my backpack.
Check my table and my art table and stuff. Yeah, check my art table and see. They might be there. There's another one down. Okay. Yeah, check my. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it should be on my art table. So yeah, if you need to use that, just take it off my table. That'd be no problem.
Okay.
Nikki's working on artwork and stuff. Speaking of which, y'all are going to be in the book. Just to let you know, all of y'all get everyone that does reviews that I've become friends with. And the book comes out November 16th, which is Nikki's birthday.
Happy birthday, Nikki.
And so, yeah, it'll be everybody. There's going to be a page that's dedicated to everybody in there that does reviews and who I became friends with and other stuff. But yeah, the cartoons, man. I mean, you had oh god, what was it? Silverhawks. You had Monstar, and his transformation was freaky because he was like this tiger-looking villain, and then when he would turn into, let the moon star hit his eye just right, he would turn to this robotic-looking creature, and you would actually see his skin like being ripped off of him and sucking inside the. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I wish I could show it. If you haven't seen it, you need to look it up because it is mind-boggling. You go back and look at it, you're like, wow, how did this not make it? But yeah, Silverhawks made it for one season. I did not know this till I started doing artwork and started doing stuff. And one of the guys was actually working on Thundercats, the comic book series that was being published by DC Comics. And the artist was Ed McGuinness that did some of the stuff on it. And I didn't know that Silverhawks was actually in the same continuity as Thundercats. And I was surprised. I was like, wow. Yeah, I gotta take a minute and go watch that intro. Yeah, it is. It's gosh, I wish I could show it without getting a copyright strike because yeah. But you got that came out during the 80s. I'm trying to think what else we had that well, the Smurfs was a big thing back then too. I mean, that was something that was and Jim and the holograms. Nikki was like all into the Jim and the holograms, but they dealt with adult themes, adult problems. I think that's what made those lines last so well. I think that's the reason why I get my tongue back in a minute. Let me give me some tea. I think that's why you see the toys or the cartoons now, the ones that we really think of and are really memorable are the ones that have that character driven, that small amount of adult problems. And I think that's the reason why the cartoons and comics, I mean, in all honesty, you can thank Transformers and you can thank Silverhawks and those cartoons, the real Ghostbusters.
Inspector Gadget, I guess.
What's that now?
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, Inspector Gadget. Absolutely. Yeah, Darkwing Duck. Well, that's why when you the reason why we have toy lines that are still going on today, that you're going to have people like me that's going to see this guy and go, I got to have Beastman.
Face.
You know, I mean, and go ahead and I'm going to be like getting it, and I'm going to remember and go start looking up those old shows. And it's the reason why the toy lines were not geared. This was something that only happened in the Generation X era, that every generation after Generation X has reaped the rewards from. We are the only generation that held on to those characters, those toy lines. Because of that is the reason why y'all still have Transformers today. It's the reason why now they can come back out with He-Man, Masters of the Universe. The cool thing about this is that they don't have a cartoon, but it comes with a comic book. That was the same thing back in the 80s, as He-Man came with a comic book. So you're seeing these toy lines that typically toy lines were just made for a little while. And when kids would get to middle school or get an older elementary, then they typically, the toys was no longer an issue and they didn't go and still buy toys. But you got like, Ninja Bill. Ninja Bill says clearly that, I was at the tail end Transformers, but it was so nice, so awesome. And I was, getting older. I still was getting the Transformers because they were puzzles. And, that's what I think is just amazing, is that's the reason why comic books was the other thing that stayed around. But for toys, if it didn't have a TV show, it wasn't a make it performed by Leonard. Which one? Oh, the Mask is top notch. Yeah, Mask was a phenomenal. Have you ever seen any of the Mask, Master Farr?
I've just seen like the figures and thinking these are basically triple changers, but
they are.
Yeah.
I think that it was. I think that it was a good cartoon because you again had humans in vehicles, and I just felt like it was a merge of Hasbro.
The Mask.
Mask.
The green, the guy, the green face and all that. That what you talking about?
Not Mask that had Jim Carrey. I'm talking about it was.
I thought you were talking about the Mask with Jim Carrey. Come on.
No, let me. Bro, Mask. Pull it up for you. I'll let you see.
Man, I like the Mask with Jim Carrey. That's pretty. Smoking.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
I gotta go, guys.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for hanging out.
Tell TF Fan Geek I said hi.
I sure will. Let's see here. Let me do there. Oh, wait. So, yeah. And share. So, yeah, here is Mask.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it had, vehicles that turned in from one vehicle and it turned into a weapon. I think Ninja Bill sent Kato, this guy right here,
No.
for the Mask. And that was another one.
Nice.
Yeah, they were really, really nice. And so, and it was an acronym. I cannot remember. Let's see if it tells me what the acronym was for Mask. Let's see. That's right. IDW brought it back out as a comic book. Let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, Mask. And also Venom. That was the other. That was the evil side, was Venom. But yeah, can't find the actual. But yeah, it was surprising. It was surprising how the toy lines is that typically, you had commercials back in the day, but what ended up happening is that toy lines, for them to make it, they would have a cartoon show, and the cartoon show would be geared to captivate your kid into wanting to reenact those episodes. It's one of the reasons why, so many people still do that today. The toys were great. They need to bring them back. I would be extremely. I think that Mask, they could just re-release the originals. Just put them back out like they were, because I think with the moving parts and everything that they have, I think that they would actually hold up even to this day and age. I really think that this toy line, which a lot of people don't pay attention to, but I think that if they did this and they just brought back this line just the way it is, I can't remember what the word I'm trying to think of, the retro versions of it, and just bring it back out like it is right here, it would so much be extremely. I think it could hold up itself. What other line? Let's see. You had Mask was trying to ledger the success of G.I. Joe Transformers by combining the elements of both the toy lines. Okay, I was thinking that, but I didn't say it because I didn't know if that was for certain or if that was just me thinking that that's what it was. Let me do that. But yeah, I mean, the mask. You also had Strike Command. That's true. Armored Strike Command, and you had hey, what other toy line do you remember? Like Mask, He-Man, other than Gems and the Holograms that had a big impact.
Care Bears.
Well, yeah, Care Bears on the
My
girl
Little
side.
Pony.
She-Ra. But She-Ra was part of He-Man, though.
Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh God.
Starlight Bright. Starbright.
Strawberry Shortcake. Oh gosh.
Fraggle Rock. It was unisex, but that was a little bit later.
Thunderhawk.
Yeah.
6-year-old Italian dude with the fake tan and proper color. Yeah. Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah, Voltron.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers came
with my brother's generation 6 years later.
So yeah.
Because I watched it with him when it first came out.
Yeah. But Voltron. Oh my gosh, yeah, and Viacon and all those. Voltron was a big thing. I never had the original Voltron that you combine them together to get the actual figure, but I did have a Voltron that was already connected together that I played with. Peter Cullen was the narrator. All those had toy lines. Yeah, they did. And that was the other thing too, is that you had Voltron was really more of a Japanese art, and then you had Transformers that was too. But the artwork for all those was dynamic. I mean, they were very much pushing the edge of creativity for stuff. I mean, you have to remember, this was not like how we do it today and everything is done online in a tablet. You had different cells, and you had to draw so much detail that would be able to flip back and forth to make the motion of those scenes. Yeah. So yeah, 10-year period was their window of opportunity to sell toy based on the shows. Yes, and those that being the case, that ended up turning out to be really what's made us remember Transformers and everything else too. Is in that 10-year period is where they pretty much hook, line, and sink all of us into it. What toy line do you remember? Since you're from a different generation, but what you said Power Rangers, which one do you remember that was really a big impact on you seeing?
That was a big impact on me.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't remember, but the only thing that made an impact on me was Transformers. That's pretty much what I remember.
Yeah. I forgot the vehicle. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Because back then, I was into Ninja Turtles, but I never went and...
Ninja Turtles. Good. That's a good one.
And the first Ninja Turtles I saw was the old one when they had the suits and all that stuff. And then I was watching Godzilla. Then I was introduced to Transformers by my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles, Viacon. I forgot about that for the vehicle. That had a great combination. So yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's what Dark says. Is that was. I agree, because that's another line that still keeps going now. I mean, they still have episodes being made of it today. Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'm sure Power Rangers seasons are hard to come by. Like, I mean, the names, because you got to come up with different names, and like they're doing all the names they can, and they have to kind of redo it a bit, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, sure thing, Tiff. Thank you. But yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and the first one dealt with had the dinosaurs, the Zords, and then they combined. Yeah. I never really got into it. Now Nikki did. Nikki. I mean, even when we dated, Nikki made it where we even saw the Power Rangers the movie, and we saw the remake or the newer version of Power Rangers. Traffic in LA when they had a fan show back in the day. Stop Traffic. Wow. Like worse than usual, man. See, that's what I'm talking about right there, is that it has such a big impact that the kids still hold on to that to get them into their adulthood. I think that's what makes this stuff so great, is the fact that we still have that.
Oh yeah, no, that reminds me, Pat. I might go ahead.
I was going to say Ninja Turtles. Now, Ninja Turtles was a big thing for me. I actually got into it because I actually read the original Ninja Turtles that was written by Eastman, and they were not the Ninja Turtles that we got that was on the show. The Lightning Collection, Green Ranger. Oh wow, the green, yeah. If you've not seen this and you do like the Power Rangers, or you like WWE wrestlers, there is a fan-made film that deals with X-Men Man of War, the Eternal Warrior, and it has the guy that was the Green Ranger is Bloodstrike in this, and it's on YouTube. And it's called Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, and that is a awesome. You see a lot of older characters that's in that thing, that are actors that were in the younger shows in that. That's really good. So with your reviews and stuff, are you going to focus just primarily on Transformers, or are you going to branch out like I'm starting to do with the He-Man?
I might branch out, and also that reminds me, since you brought up Power Rangers, I might do some Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah,
I haven't got into collecting Power Rangers stuff yet, but I might start doing that, since I do like Power Rangers and all that stuff. And recently, I just went to a thrift store and I got some Red Power Ranger stuff from the remake. I got the mask and the little blade.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh,
yeah,
you became a fighter. Wow. I have to take a look at some pictures then.
Yeah, and I also found the chest piece. I'm shocked it even fit me. It also has a switch on the inside that you could turn it on, and the little centerpiece could glow.
Nice. Yeah, and so the Power Rangers, and I saw that I think Netflix has got like a new season. I guess it's already out, but that's it's never ended. I forgot about that. Ninja Turtles hasn't really ended. I am excited about He-Man though. He-Man is coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
When it does, I'll make sure you get to watch it with me, and you can be caught up with all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
If you're going to do Power Rangers, it's like Jay just said, he's looking forward to the new Megazord. Are you going to look at getting the Megazords?
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty much interested in, because I do know that the old Dino Megazord, they're coming out with that again, but it's a little smaller, pretty much. Yeah, and I'm pretty much interested in some of the Zords. I don't know what line it's called. I forgot. I'll have to look it up when I get a chance. And
it's dealing with the Power Rangers. Let me take a look at this. Mighty Morphin.
And I would like to collect some of the old stuff, Power Ranger stuff, Zords, but God, they're so expensive. Like, wow.
Let's see. New toy line.
God darn, got those little ones over there looking at me.
Let's see. Wow, I am trying to. See. Wow, there's so many. Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Let me share this.
Let me see what I'm talking about.
Screen share. Let me do that. So this is what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, if that's the new stuff they're coming out with, yeah, they're like the old figures from back then, but they're a little downsized.
Okay. The articulation, and wow, those look really good. See, I've not even seen these to you. We were talking about them. For Bandai and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that was never on my radar.
Yeah.
Dang, those look really good. They look really good, actually.
I didn't notice that they came with figures. I guess I must have missed that.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're pretty much the same figures that were from back in the day, but they're smaller and a little bit downsized, like I said.
And so these are going to be able to merge together, combine together?
I think so. Let me see here.
Wow. That is crazy.
Let me see.
Those look really well. I mean, I'm actually surprised how well they look. They look really good.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's any other images that's on this thing. So no. New toy line from Bandai. Wow. Still, that's pretty darn cool. It really is. Oh, TFN Geek's here. Hey, TFN Geek, my man.
Hello.
How you been, my man?
Oh, doing great. So I heard you guys were talking about cartoons.
Yeah, cartoons and the toy lines and how they had such an impact and still have an impact today.
Oh yeah, that's always a heartfelt topic. I heard you guys talking about Thundercats and Silverhawks and how they had great intros.
Yes. Do you remember? Have you ever heard their intros or are familiar with them?
Oh, of course. I watched them in reruns on Cartoon Network.
Oh, there you go, my man. There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Now you're talking about lingo. What did you think about it? Seeing the cartoon, several years after it had already been aired. Wow.
Yeah. So watching those series and reruns, I was pretty impressed not only with the like shades in the art style and the animation. Like even in the introduction on Silverhawks, all those different colors they used to like have the metal reflective, active and sound barriers and everything. I think, but what I got out of Thundercats was the storyline. Even though it was done in that Saturday morning, like ongoing cartoon series, there was an overall arching storyline where after the Thundercats arrived on Third Earth, they tried to stop Mum-Ra from defeating their attempts at establishing a new civilization for themselves. And then I got as far as towards the end of the series when they find a way of like they discover a brand new planet that looks like New Thundera. And I think the series ended a couple of episodes after that, but I never saw the series finale air on Cartoon Network. I don't know if it was a movie or what.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I never saw the ending to the Thundercats. I knew we got to that point, but I don't know. I haven't even looked that up. I probably should, because Silverhawks only had one season. Thundercats had what, 2 seasons?
Yeah, because at the start of the second season, I believe, is when they discovered the existence of the other surviving residents of Thundera. Yeah, Linkso, Pumaira, and Bengali hiding out on the island. And
I still have those action figures still today. And yeah. I still got the little ring that you put the battery in. You stick it in the back of Lino and Mum-Ra, and their eyes still light up. Silverhawks was a class. Silverhawks I love because, like you said, they were the metal. When you got the action figures, their arms popped out. You could, do different things with the action figures that just literally at the time they off the page. But yeah, the Silverhawks intro with Jazz, not Jazz, excuse me. It wasn't Jazz. I think it was Bluegrass.
I think that was his name.
Yeah, and he had in the guitar, and you see the music notes coming out of the end of it. Yeah. Stray Cats and spaceships.
I remember I saw on a video someone uploaded of the Silverhawks introduction. Someone typed down in the comments section, I forgot who, they said that only during the 1980s will we have a half human, half metal cowboy playing guitar in a spaceship flying through space.
And you would see that, in that line. I was surprised that Silverhawks didn't catch on as much as everything else did all the time. But typically you were given about 3 seasons. He-Man was the one that kind of broke that mold. And that's when they did the seasons of He-Man, and then they did She-Ra. And that ended up destroying the toy line. That was actually the cartoon that really ended the He-Man run. It's because they kind of took away that thing that, boys could have the power, and then girls did, and then the guys were like, well, then we're not special anymore. And so the toy line kind of died at that from that there for one. Larry, I did not know, same as Lino. Wow. Bluegrass. That's it. Bluegrass. Wow. Bummed me out because they didn't figure their mask face with me as part of that appeal. Yeah, that's true. You're right. When you got Silverhawks, they didn't have the face shield that would come down over their face you would have their human face. You wouldn't have their space face. Yeah.
Well, the same thing happened with Transformers Animated. I mean, if you look back at the episodes, all the characters had built-in faceplates. It's just that Optimus Prime was the only one who would use his more often than the others.
Yeah, those mask designs were ahead of their time. Yes, they were. They really were. I'm surprised we haven't seen someone trying to rehash the Silverhawks. I really am. I have been very surprised that we haven't had that happen.
Well, I think the main reason why it didn't happen is because of the Thundercats reboot cartoon that Cartoon Network did back in 2011. As incredible as it, even though it only lasted one season, I think it was just like 20, 25 episodes, I want to say, from start to finish. It was an incredible series, and everyone wanted it to continue.
It was the same thing that happened with the He-Man cartoon that went on Cartoon Network. They would not give it a proper time zone.
Exactly. And it was more trouble, and for Cartoon Network, it was more financial trouble than they thought it was worth, which is why they pulled the plug on it.
The other reason why they pulled the plug on it too was that if they had given it a proper time slot, just like with He-Man, they had done that when they had the remake of He-Man, which is what to He-Man collectors we call it the 2000X or 200X series. Very dynamic story, very dynamic looking figures. And
I saw that on Cartoon Network. My favorite scene from that show was Skeletor's origin.
Yes.
And and what happened to his face, because in the original series as far as I know, they didn't really show that. It was just established that Skeletor all along had his face was the way it was, but in the
as a cartoon from Filmation, yes, but when you got the miniature comic books, that's why for me that He-Man was such a great cartoon, was because the lore and the backstory that they were using was coming from the comic books that were in the back of your action figures. When you got I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, Lord and Master Starscream. Hello there.
You drop out?
Yeah, Autocorrect Primer said he'd be back in a moment.
Oh.
So, a question for you. If you had to name your favorite cartoon series by each decade, which ones would you choose?
Hang on. Say that again?
What's your favorite cartoon series going by decade that they were released?
That's a hard one.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Going by decades that I've been alive, if I had to choose all-time favorite cartoon series, for the 1990s, it would have to be Reboot. For the 2000s, it would have to be Avatar: The Last Airbender. And for the 2010s, it would have to be Transformers Prime. Those are my favorite cartoon series going by the decades I've been alive.
Well, for me, I actually enjoyed pretty much Transformers G1, Beast Wars, and I definitely did enjoy Transformers Prime. But like I said, the only thing that kind of bothered me about it was just how they treated Breakdown. But I can get past it. But so far, Transformers Prime is a pretty good series.
Yeah. And, Dark Conan says his favorite cartoon series from the 1980s was Robotech.
Oh, nice.
I haven't watched Robotech.
I never heard of it.
Basically, Robotech was almost like it was almost like a blend of Transformers and Gundams. Yeah. It's almost like Robotech was almost like G.I. Joe in outer space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
From footage I've seen of it.
Yeah. Let's see here.
All right, sorry. We had an emergency. He disappeared. And so Nikki was freaking out. And she's like, I can't find the little one. So sorry about that. Here you go. So here's the little, and this is Chomper, the Beast Man. So yeah, he is. Oh, he sees food.
Oh man, I got 3 little ones over there. They not a friendly.
They will be as soon as you know. And I'm going to give you some pointers to help you out with that. Yeah, compared to most of the shows at the time, people actually died.
So autocorrect primer. Dark Conan mentioned that his favorite cartoon from the 1980s was Robotech.
Robotech, okay.
Yeah, and I said I have never watched Robotech, even though I've heard about it.
Me neither.
I have to look that up. For some reason, I cannot, for the life of me, because I thought that it
was a role-playing game for a while.
It was a role-playing game too?
Yeah. Robotech, Mech Warrior, Dungeons and Dragons. Played all those.
Oh, I do remember.
Changeling, Vampire the Masquerade.
So, yes, okay. Yes, I do remember this. I do. Let me see if I can. You need his glass? Sorry. Hey, little man. He's like, he's so tiny. The little baby here, we have to actually feed him by bottle because he can't eat.
Sorry, that was me.
Big food yet. Let me do this. Share screen. Let me do this real quick. Robotech. I want to show this, and I'm gonna. There we go. So that's Robotech. Yeah.
Sweet.
No, he's got a milk beard. Let me show that to everybody.
I'll be right back on a correct primer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before he gets rid of it,
let me show you. He's got a milk beard, and he's very happy with his milk beard. Yeah, he says I want to match
my daddy.
Yeah, I want to match him because we have the same color scheme going on right here.
Yeah,
we're twins.
To be honest, you two do look alike because he is.
I feel so sorry for him that you said that about him. Shh, don't listen to the Lord Master Starscream saying that you look like me. You're much more beautiful.
Y'all both cute.
If not ugly, right? Oh shit! I shouldn't have said that.
This was just gorgeous all the way around.
Oh man, I crossed it.
Do you remember the cartoon where the boy turned into the car? No. His hands would turn into the wheels.
No, that's disgusting. I would have freaked out.
I would have too.
I would have freaked out and ran.
see. I'm gonna look it up real
Hand me
quick.
the glass. I gotta go get some more.
1980s.
There you go.
Thank you, baby.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Cartoon.
You want to tell me where he is? Will you tell me later?
Yes, I will. Boy changes into.
Yeah, here's.
Oh, listen to that little fella.
Yeah.
Whoa, he's cuter than me. How the hell is that?
Yeah, right? See, this is what I gotta deal with right here. I gotta be careful with him because
he looks like
Chomper.
Wow. Yeah, he does.
Oh, easy there, easy.
Yeah, he's just a little nervous. Oh, he's a little nervous.
Yeah, he does. He thinks I'm gonna hurt him. He doesn't know much about humans, I guess.
Yeah, and he will. The more you feed him and stuff. Oh my God, it's Turbo Teen. That's what we were talking about earlier. Let me show y'all. This was like one of the most disturbing. Oh my gosh, this was so disturbing when I was growing up. This cartoon.
Oh God. What?
Let me screen share it. Let me do that. So here we go.
What the?
He would turn into this car right here, but he would. That's how he would transform. He would transform.
What the?
Oh my God! I forgot about RoboCop. Yeah.
Oh man! Don't leave out RoboCop. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
I know. Oh my God! The Street Sharks. Oh
wait,
my God.
Street Shark.
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah, baby shark. No,
baby.
This one.
All right, I got stop.
Let's see. Oh gosh, I forgot about Captain Planet. But nah, this cat here, this freaked me out as a kid. I was like, wait a second, transformation, supercut. I was like, wait a second, why are you changing into? Sorry, I don't know what happened.
That picture right there. Disturbing.
He says,
the one right.
Immediately hose my mom as a jerk. I bet so. That is, but yeah. Was this disturbing to anyone else? Seeing this kid turn into a friggin' car. I mean, it was.
I never heard of this. This is new to me. That looks disturbing though.
And when it came on for me, it came on right after. You would have there was a Star Wars cartoon which was dealing with the droids.
Oh yeah, I heard of that. Yeah,
and you had the Ewoks, and then He-Man, and then you would have the Smurfs, and after the Smurfs, this is what would come on, and I was like, oh my God, what? Why is people giving He-Man such a hard time about having a guy with a skeleton face when the kid turns into a car? His face stretches out. Absolutely gross. I agree.
No.
I agree. It's like you're sitting there. I remember when there was like this big controversy about Skeletor and Skeletor being of the devil. Now, look, I'm a Christian. Everybody knows that. But I was like, have you ever seen the cartoon? He loses and he has a crazy laugh. But yet, He-Man. And then you turn around and you got Turbo Tech. I mean, seriously, it's like, wait a second.
That picture right there with the head on the car or whatever. What's that picture right there? Yeah. Okay, that's
when he started. His hands turn into the wheels.
That's kind of disturbing looking right there.
What's really disturbing though is that he would be like, "Who wants to ride me today?"
Oh no!
Why?
No!
Why? Open up my door and sit in the pit. I'm like, wait a second. Even as a kid, I know what you're talking about, boy. I know what you're talking about.
My gosh!
You transform into a car. You have your good friends, the female. You're asking her to play with your joystick. I get it. But
oh God.
I don't know who sat there and said, you know what? Jay says, that's my cartoon. I was like, but still, it's like, why? It's like, what? Going into something saying, hey, we're going to make this for kids and we're going to have it where a teenager turns into a car. You got Transformers that transform into robots, but now we're going to have teenagers turn into cars. How is that a selling point? When the first transformation, you see him transform into a vehicle. I had damn nightmares. I still do. I went back and saw some of it, little clips of it later on in life. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. He's talking about, change my gears with my shift and sit in my cockpit and ride me. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. We got the birds and the bees going on with this car. My tires are rubber. First of all, he always burn out his rubber. And it was like, I was like, wow. It reminds me of Kit. But see, Kit was cool. Knight Rider was awesome. You had Kit where you also, he talked to Michael, and, Kit didn't turn into a human. But he had a beautiful human that would ride inside of him, which everybody wants to be, is David Hasselhoff. That's why there. God. Is why Kit was such a cool thing. But yeah, wow. I know. I'm like, whoa, wow. but there, and that's not the only thing. I do want to show you this. Let me go here. This was the ghost that we were talking about.
Oh, real quick while you're looking that up, I went to Goodwill the other day, and they had like $5 bags of stuff and all that. Yeah. I ended up buying a $15 bag full of Legos.
Oh, that's nice.
Like legit, I filled up a full drawer of that. But anyway,
that's cool. I have to share this. I mean, who else remembers this right here, Brave Star?
Man, if I grew up back in the 80s, and if I was born in the 80s, I'm sure I would have heard of this.
Yeah, this was a thing. I mean, I totally his face into a car, gross. Yes, but no, I mean, I forgot about this. I just saw it. So you had Brave Star. Man, I used to love watching this cartoon. Absolutely loved it. I love cowboys, and I also like things in space. And you had a talking horse that was his partner, and it was like, wow, awesome. Very, very, very cool cartoon. Trying to think. What others? There was a lot that came on Saturday morning. Let me see if I can find some other gems.
Man, I'm sure that whatever that show was you talked about that boy turning into the car, I'm sure that was another way of hiding some of those joke things, if you know what I mean. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. I forgot about this. I used to have these little robots too. With Max. I can't remember what they were called though. Let me see if they got the name down here. I totally forgot about them. Oh, there's your GoBots. There's your
GoBots. Gosh.
There's your GoBots. Absolutely.
The designs look pretty. Some of the designs look pretty interesting. Well, there's a cone head right there.
Yep, and there was a female too.
That's a weird looking female face.
Oh my gosh, the Centurion. This was where you would have all these little ports, and you could add stuff onto your characters.
Yeah,
it's like what GoPros are now is what these guys were. So back in the past, you would have all.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're talking about TV shows, what is the worst TV show from back in the day that you can think of that brings nightmares or something like that? I guess that's
this one.
I guess. Oh God, what is this?
The Inhumanoids. This was. I mean, saw this cartoon as a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, you actually get put inside his body with Max Steel, RoboForce. Yep. Remembers Brave Star, Ultimate Wolf. Hey, Ultimate Wolf. And speaking of which, let me make sure I got this out there. Just in case I forgot. Anybody can jump in that wants to. There's the link. But yeah,
they got a lot of disturbing stuff out there.
They were oh man, back in the day, dude. I mean, there was like these things were like no joke.
And I guess I'm now the one who's been living under the rock.
See right there. This was part of a Marvel comic book line. It was under Star Comics that was published by Marvel. This was because Hasbro was wanting to come out with all these cartoons. They wanted the cartoons to have a mini series, so Marvel had to create a line that was not part of Marvel continuity. So they came out with a Star. And yeah, I had these characters, man. And here's the thing. You would get this guy right here. This guy right here was a big, massive figure. And it was like...
That's a crazy looking monster thing there.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to see that.
The Inhumanoids. Gosh.
Oh, no.
There you go. And that's the play set. That's the actual figure. And the arms moved.
Oh, God.
And the legs also moved. The cage of his chest would open up, and you would have this, and that would be where your slime would come out. Because you had to take the back of it. I wish I still had this figure. Because on the back of the figure, you could squeeze, and you would... the Rock Lords, I forgot about that, featuring Bumblebee as Spider-Man. Oh, wow. I forgot about Spider Amazing Friends. Gosh, yeah, Spider-Man is Amazing Friends that you got Firestar and Iceman are like teamed up with Spider-Man, and they're at his aunt's house with the dog. I can't remember the dog's name. I think it was Molly, maybe. The Rock Lords. Let's look that. I hadn't seen the Rock Lords in forever either.
Man, all those TV shows, man.
Let's do this. 80s cartoons. See what we get.
Oh, gosh. Hey, they had a Speed Racer back then, too. If you ever heard of that.
Yep.
I never seen the cartoon. I only watched the movie. To be honest.
That's the GoBot I was talking about right there. That was the airplane.
Let me see. Oh.
Now back to GoBots. Let's see. Captain Planet. Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, I said Captain Milk for some reason.
That was the artwork for the Mask cartoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Transform Boulders. Yeah, it's Transform Rock Lords. That's Transform Boulders. That's right. I forgot. Let me see.
I'm back. Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh my gosh, yes. Here we go. Let me do this real quick.
Man, we talk about 80 shows now. Great.
1980 shows, sweet. Transformers G1, He-Man, Thundercats, Silverhawk, Ghostbusters.
The Rock Lords. I forgot about this. And He-Man actually came out with figures to go to compete with this too. They came out with their own little Rock Lord figures. Wow.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
Yeah, He-Man came out with characters that were also rocks, that transformed into rocks.
Oh, yeah.
There are quite a few cartoons that had transforming related concepts. Yep, they sure did. Absolutely, I forgot about it. Wow. Let's see. Here's some of the figures.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. let's see what other 80s cartoons we can find.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Silverhawks. The Transforming stuff, man, that was a big thing because Transformers really took the
Yeah, and I saw a video about where that started from, transforming action figures.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's If I don't know if you guys know about this YouTube channel, but I know it's by the user's. His name is Chris McFeely, and he's been doing an ongoing video series called Transformers: The Basics. And just a few weeks ago, he did a video explaining the origins of transforming action figures. And so what happened was, after Hasbro released the 12-inch G.I. Joe figures in the late 1960s, they were sent to Japan during the 70s, and Japanese toy manufacturers decided the 12-inch G.I. Joes were too tall, so they downsized them, and then they realized they didn't want G.I. Joe to be a soldier, they wanted him to be a superhero, but a human superhero didn't really work, so they mechanized G.I. Joe's body into a robot, and they gave him interchangeable weapons that could also be that you could also switch his hands and feet out for weapons. And from there, they slowly evolved from weapons to vehicle parts. And slowly it evolved to a robot that was capable of turning into a vehicle. And so, even though ironically, the robots that would become Transformers, Diaclone, Microman, and Microchange were developed by Takara Tomy, those figures originated from G.I. Joe. So Hasbro releasing the Diaclone robots as Transformers here in the United States, that was just toy designing having gone full circle.
That's what Jan Dark was sharing with me. I didn't know that. That's what was so crazy. They had a combiner. I did not know they had a combiner. That's crazy.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how transforming action figures originated from. Takara Tomy turning G.I. Joe into a robot.
Wow. And this was something I was talking about early on in the show, is that it's Generation X, my generation. We're the ones that never let go of our action figures. We never let go of that part of our childhood. Because toys back in the day were just made for a short amount of time to get the kids before they went to, middle school and high school. And then they would never look at those things again, or or care about it because they would get thrown away, or stuff like that. But it was my generation that held on to those figures. I mean, I still have my figures. So it's like I was sharing off earlier. I'll show you what I got.
Yeah.
Nice. Man.
Sweet. Oh man.
This right here costs the same price as a Voyager from Transformers.
Whoa. Seriously?
Yep.
And that's the original 1980s version, right?
This is the remake. This is the new line that's come out from.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's got all the articulation. I still have my original, which if you see, you'll see I have a video. It probably should go up today, where I show off my original Battle Cat with this Battle Cat, and I show the different articulation and everything with it. But yeah, this is getting He-Man and Battle Cat was around $30 to get.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Oh, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Which Ghostbusters from the 80s do you prefer? Filmation's Ghostbusters or the real Ghostbusters?
The real Ghostbusters. Now, even though I still actually have figures, I still actually have the figures from the Ghostbusters. I still have those. But the real Ghostbusters is what I like, because I remember the Ghostbusters, the movie with Dan Aykroyd, with Bill Murray, and the real Ghostbusters.
Harold was it Harold Ramis, or who played Egon, or was that Rick Moranis? I get their names mixed up.
No, Rick. It was Harold. You're right. Rick Moranis played the little nerdy guy that one of the dogs.
Yeah, and also Ernie Hudson played Winston Zedmore.
Yeah, I got I got an autograph from him. Get to meet him, and So I got an from Ernie.
Who?
Ernie.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and apparently, like he told me when he found out where I lived, he was like, "You do know Bill Murray don't live that far from you." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, don't tell anybody." I was like, "It's too late. I'm gonna tell everybody." Bill Murray lives in South Carolina, and he owns a minor league baseball team called the Mudcats. I would know this because I have stalked this man. No, I'm picking. I have, but yeah.
Oh God.
Because he was like, "Hey, he don't live that far from you. You can actually get him to sign this." I was like, "Yeah, Bill Murray's not going to sign this." He's like, "Yeah, he probably won't." So,
that's like trying to get both men who play Darth Vader to autograph the same poster. It's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I got to meet the actor that was in the suit, and I got to hear his story. And it was sad because he said, he said all those lines.
Yeah.
They didn't use his voice. They picked somebody else.
Yeah. No, they didn't tell. But that's the thing. They didn't tell him. It wasn't until he went to opening night that he heard James Earl Jones's voice.
Yep.
Voicing Darth Vader.
Yep.
And that's when he basically realized he was a silent motion actor, just moving Darth Vader's body around.
Yep. And but you got to think, I mean, that his voice, he had a British accent.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't see his voice, even when I was sitting there talking to him and getting an autograph. I just was like, you may have been able to pull it off, but no, I understand. I could not see. Hello, Luke. I'm your father. It was like, need to have a deep, rusty voice. Luke, I'm your father. So,
yeah.
But
I am Darth Vader.
Yeah, right.
I apologize.
No, you're good. Hey, you put up with my voices, Lord mercy. But dealing with cartoons, Lord Master Starscream happened to mention my Morphin Power Rangers. I had not thought about that, but that was a cartoon that's from his era. What cartoon do you relate to? Other than Transformers, is there another cartoon that, even if you've watched the old ones, like they come from my generation, it's just something from your generation that just stands out for you?
For me, Autocrat Primer?
Yes.
Oh, for me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Well, a moment ago, I named off my favorite cartoon series in the 1990s, but 90s which was a reboot. But now that I think about it, there was another cartoon show from the 90s I enjoyed more, which was Batman the Animated Series. But as far as a fictional cartoon character that I can personally relate to, it would have to be Charlie Brown. Even though he started off as a newspaper strip, I can relate. I lived Charlie Brown's life when I was a kid. I was the kid who was bullied all the time, who faced the bullying I faced wasn't physical, it was verbal, but that was enough for me.
Oh yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. One year on Halloween, someone actually gave me rocks, like Charlie Brown gets in the cartoon.
Oh, people are so mean. I actually went to. I got to meet him, and I got to go to his school. That's where some of my classes that I had for cartooning was at Charles Schultz's animation. So. And then Dennis DeMenace. I really related to Dennis DeMenace, and had him as my mentor, starting out my comic strips and stuff. Robotech, aka Jetfire, that is another character that was a reuse.
The Valkyrie Jet. Yeah, that was the Robotech name of that toy.
Yeah. Robotech was a good one. And I looking back on it, I'm going, wow. They reused, like, Battle Cat. I don't know if anyone knows this, but Battle Cat was a tiger that just didn't do well for Mattel, and they just slapped this on it and had it green with the yellow stripes, and that's why it came as Battle Cat for He-Man. They reused toy lines.
Yeah, and they recycled
Yeah,
figures as well.
Exactly, and recycled. We were talking about this earlier, and Dark Arnold was saying, and I agreed with him. He's like, if we still get the quality of Transformers we're getting right now, with the articulation and the look and the aesthetics of them, I don't mind the prices going up for them. But as a collector, going to Walmart, and right in front of me is a Voyager class Megatron, Earthrise. Yeah, Jetfire. Those right there. Those are going like crazy money for online right now. I'm happy that you were able to get those bad boys. But like I was saying, I was able to get a He-Man figure, and I was able to get a Battle Cat. So I got 2 figures and a comic book for the price that was a Voyager. Now, Master Faro said that he felt like it was not a great comparison because Transformers has all the engineering and He-Man reuses. But Transformers really reuse parts. They do a lot of retools.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Well, that's been one of the. I don't want to necessarily. Well, a lot of fans would call it a paradox. Me personally, because it's such a norm for the Transformers franchise, I wouldn't necessarily call it a paradox, but I can see why people do. The paradox with the Transformers is that using recycled parts and characters being the exact same model done in different colors, some people say, oh, it's a new thing having Transformers be repainted and retooled from each other. No, it's not. That's been a mainstay of the Transformers franchise since day one. Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp can attest to Transformers characters being lookalikes with different paint jobs being around since the franchise started. Same thing with Ironhide and Ratchet and Prowl and Bluestreak.
Let me say something real quick. Because I'm asking a question too, because I want to address what Jay said. Yeah, deluxes have gone up. But didn't the leader class also go up? Because when I did my pre-order for Megatron,
no, they haven't. No, in the Kingdom line next year, it's only deluxe classes that have gone up in price, and it's only a price jump of I think $3.
Okay,
from 1999 to $22.99.
All right, so Big Bad Toy Star is charging $55. TF Source is charging $55.
Yeah.
And when I got leader class Optimus Prime, I got it for $49. When I got leader class Ultra Magnus, he was also so. I mean, on those sites, the prices have already jumped up 5 issues.
Yeah.
For leader class.
Yeah, but no, on Amazon for the Kingdom line, the price tags are still the same. Kingdom Cyclone is on pre-order for $29.99.
Yes.
East Wars Megatron's $49.99. Optimus Primal's $29.99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Arachnia actually went down on Amazon. She's only going for $19.87.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So guys, if you guys want to look to add the upcoming Transformers Kingdom Black Arachnia figure, her price dropped from $22.99 to $19.87.
Let's see. Let's go. Let's see Transformers. Kingdom. Yes, she has. Hello. Reorder.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I can definitely tell when Nikki's been looking at pricing things. She has everything in the cart. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There we go. That's a good price for her. And I'll definitely get that for Nikki because she'll be stoked.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the Target, Walmart, and Entertainment Earth are all 40. Okay, so 49.
Yeah, that's for Beast Wars Megatron. Yeah, so it's only the deluxe classes that have jumped up in price tag, although some people are afraid that by the end of next year, the other size classes will join deluxes in another price hike.
Will that change you being able to still pick up as many figures as you like, or since you focus primarily on Transformers, you don't really branch out to any other line, do you?
No.
So it's not going to be it won't be a big deal for you because you'll pretty much stick with the Transformers, whatever the price varies of them. Correct?
Correct, sort of.
Okay.
The problem is I'm always on a tight budget, and the past few months I've had to watch how much I spend on Transformers, and so I'm no longer able to go completist like I was at the beginning of this year and all the years before. So that's why I still haven't gotten a hold of Earthrise, Smokescreen, RC, or Airwave. The only deluxe class figure I've gotten is the Alicons, and I haven't gotten all of the Generation Selects figures. I still need a Grease Pit, Hubcap, have a Hot House.
So you're doing like what I'm having to do. One thing Nikki and I talked about, and because we can't be completists anymore either,
Exactly.
Nikki being disabled, having to do medical bills and do stuff like that, kind of puts a damper on your budget. Which you have the same thing and stuff with the family and all. We decided we're trying to wanting to get the figures that look like in our minds the way they should look. And right now Hasbro is putting out some really good figures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love the 86 movie, they just showed images today of that Grimlock.
Oh yeah, I saw them all.
Oh my gosh.
The ones I want to get are Jazz and Scourge. Don't ask me why, but they're my favorites of the bunch that have been shown off.
Oh no, I get it, man. I want those. I want Hot Rod. I want Grimlock. Now I will try and get a completist with those figures there from the Studio series.
Yeah.
But we were talking about Kingdom.
Yeah.
And we were like, do we need another Optimus? No. Do we need another Megatron? No.
I saw. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. So apparently someone found a leaked database listing almost all of the Transformers figures that are going to be released in the entirety of the Kingdom line. And it appears that Kingdom Optimus Prime is just going to be a repack of Earthrise Optimus Prime. So it's not a new figure. It's just going to be Earthrise Prime sold in a different box.
Same thing they did with Astrid Train.
Exactly. And also some of the Battle Masters like Rung and Smashdown.
See, I just think that those are wasted spots.
Exactly.
I really do. I think they're wasted spots. I think that you have this awesome figure of Optimus Prime that came from Siege. Yes, you got a really nice figure that came out of Earthrise. I don't believe the price tag, for me personally, I don't think the price tag really should have been $50. The trailer, not being able to house cars inside the trailer was a big turnoff for me. And
Roller being absent above everything else.
Yeah, no paint apps, and we didn't get Roller. That was a big turnoff for me. If it wasn't gotten for me as a gift, I definitely wouldn't have it in my collection.
Yeah. Biggest gripe I have with Earthrise Optimus Prime is that the wheels on the trailer have no axle housing in between them.
Yeah.
There's no connection
port
between them at all. Yeah. So one thing to note.
I'm with you, Jay. It kills my pocket too. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys were aware of the database that was leaked. I tried my best to memorize it, and I shared it on TFW 2005 and on Discord.
Oh, okay.
But just so you guys know, it appears if we are in fact getting all the characters on the database are the ones who are going to be given action figures in the Kingdom line. From what I can tell, to avoid confusion, there isn't going to be an action figure of Generation 1 Megatron released in the Kingdom line to avoid confusing him with Beast Wars Megatron. Because instead, we are going to get a brand new Leader Class action figure of Generation 1 Galvatron in the Kingdom line. And that's one thing a lot of Transformers fans have been pointing out, is that since we are in fact getting a Leader Class action figure of Generation 1 Galvatron in the Kingdom line, the image of him here on all of the Earthrise Transformers boxes floating out in space, that's just a preview of the characters that are going to be released in the Kingdom line. So for those of you guys wanting to get action figures based off of Generation 1 Megatron, the Earthrise Voyager class figure might be the last Generation 1 inspired Megatron figure that we're going to be getting for a while. Just some food for thought.
And you know, looking at that and seeing that, I look at Galvatron and them coming out with Galvatron. You also come out with Cyclonus, and then you look at the '86 Studio Series. You know, those characters actually look like they're from the same line. It's like they said, you know, they're like, okay, we have the Studio Series and we're going to do Studios '86, but you know what? People are going to really want to have a Galvatron or Megatron type figure other than the Beast Wars one. And so let's put Cyclonus and let's put Galvatron in the Kingdom line, and let's turn around and throw in Scourge and in the '86 line of
because by the time the Kingdom line ends next year, I'm sorry to interrupt, autocorrect primer, but by the time the Kingdom line ends next year in 2021, the next year is 2022, and you guys know what year that is. The year that HasLab Unicron gets released.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing a lot of people, after HasLab Unicron, after he was approved for sale because they got enough people who pre-ordered him on Hasbro's website, a lot of people are pointing out that we're getting all the characters featured in the Transformers Generation 1 movie, and the Studio Series '86 and the Kingdom lines having characters like Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus. It's going to lead up to the release of HasLab Unicron. So it's like we're getting all the characters from the Generation 1 movie, and it's going to culminate with the release of HasLab Unicron. So it's like you're going to get all brand new action figures of all the characters from the Generation 1 movie, and the last one to be released is the biggest one that appears in that movie, which is Unicron.
Well, and like Jay was saying, Ultra Magnus, he's definitely going to get the Kingdom Ultra Magnus. I think that's going to be really looks like the '86 movie Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
Studio Series is a different type of engineering. Well, yeah, I can agree with that to a level, because the Studio Series, you know, is. And it's always supposed to be more screen accurate. That's the whole point of it. But we are getting into the cartoon.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to agree with TF Angie saying, you know, we're getting all these characters. I think the engineering is pretty much the same. I saw that Cyclonus, and there's like, he has no kibble at all.
No.
You know.
That looks like an upsized version of the Universe Classics and Reveal the Shield Deluxe class Cyclonus that we got a decade ago.
Yes,
it's just like the Earthrise Seekers are upsized versions of the Deluxe class figures we got in the Classic line back in 2006.
Hey, Jay points this out. I didn't know this. He says it's going to be comes out in January. So it comes out this 2021 January or 2022. That's a good question. Let me look that up.
I thought it was 2022 when HasLab Unicron is going to start being sent out.
I'm not sure, because I wanted to look back that one, but that was definitely not in my price range.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. HasLabs. All right. Let me see what the release date. Let me share this with everybody while I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here it is on Hasbro Pulse. Hash Labs. That was on Reaching the Goal. Let's see. Oh, yes, it is 2021.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they're very, very nice. Very nice. Hey, chicken fried steak. Glad to have you. So okay. That there you go. So that's going to be next year. So that's right around the same time as the Kingdom's being released. So wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was going to say. Let me see if it comes back to mind. Let me think. It was something wonderful I was going to ask. What was it? My train of thought derailed on me again.
Oh, I get this beautiful hair to lay down. It takes time. There's a lot of management and product that I use with it.
Anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. I apologize.
Rusty says, "What's shaking?" My billfold is shaking, is quivering with all these Transformers and now He-Man figures coming out. I'm going, what in the world am I going to do? Right now, being seeing all these, it's like when I went to the Walmart and Target, especially Walmart, seeing Transformers, G.I. Joe, and He-Man on the shelves, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like me going to KB Toys and Toys R Us when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
In the same place at the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing my family and we joke about is that that in Hollywood they run out of original ideas, and there is some truth to that.
There's a lot of truth.
Yeah, it was way back when the Academy Awards first started. They gave out an Academy Award for the category of Best Original Idea, and the committee in charge of the Academy Awards, they ended that category in the late 1950s because already by the 1950s they felt that there weren't any more original ideas left in Hollywood. And so what I'm seeing, what we're seeing is that the toy companies, what they're doing is they're looking back at what did we make a profit from in the past and how can we bring it back today. And so I think that's what they're doing is they're doing all the stuff that sold well when it was released and is still selling well on eBay. And that's why they're coming out with newer merchandise of what sold back in the 70s, the 80s, and even in the 1990s.
Well, it's also the thing is that one of the things that changed within Hollywood and in comics is there was a thing where you would get royalties. If you created something for that company, this came about whenever the guys that created Superman was not getting any royalties for the Superman movies.
Was it Jerry Siegel or Joe Shuster who was the last one alive?
Yes, Joe Shuster.
Yeah, Joe Shuster.
And then they finally and then we got royalties. Well, then all of a sudden, that opened up the floodgates that if you created a character, and it got a TV show or a movie or stuff like that, if you created the character, that means you will get royalties. And Disney, with the purchase of Marvel Comics, completely changed that. When they purchased Marvel Comics, they purchased Marvel Entertainment, and with Marvel Entertainment, they got the Marvel Comics. Disney was like, no, we're not giving any of these creators royalties of these characters. They were working for the company. They created the character for the company that they were working for. Well, these characters were created because they were knowing they were going to get royalties if that character became a big hit. And so with Disney getting rid of that, all of a sudden your creativity becomes pigeonholed. It becomes a lot less because no one wants to create a new idea and the next big thing for big corp to gain all the royalties and all the benefits for you creating this character. Rob Liefeld is one of the guys that's dealing with this right now with Cable, Deadpool, X-Force, and Domino. Deadpool is one of the biggest money makers for Marvel, which was for Fox. that they've had in a long time. And when Disney got the rights to Fox, and you got Rob Liefeld that created Deadpool, he's now not going to get royalties for a character he created. So with this, it now makes it where you as a creator, unless you do it independently, like I do mine independently, because I refuse to sell my characters to a big corporation. When I had the opportunity, I refused to do so. I wanted the characters to be mine. I wanted to do whatever I wanted with my characters. I wanted them to be my creation, and I'm glad I did. I still own my characters, and I've had them for 15 years. I've had them longer than that because I've had them ever since I was a kid. But when they became published, I kept it as a independent publisher. You're now seeing a lot of the guys going back. A lot of the guys that I know are now going back and going, "Wow, it's funny. You didn't jump on the bandwagon and sell your characters to the companies to get your book published. You kept your character and your characters and published it yourself. And now we're coming in that, Nikki gets questions all the time. How can we go about getting self-publishing and doing stuff like that? Because that's where the original ideas are coming from, is from these independent guys that's publishing it themselves so that they can actually keep the content and keep the characters, so that if a corporation comes by and says, "Hey, I really like your idea," well, you can sell them what's known as partial rights, and you would have creator rights, and then they would create the product, and that you can reap the reward if it does well. And so that's what a lot of people are doing. But that's why there's no more new things coming out of Hollywood. It's why they're rehashing everything, doing all these reboots, is because there's nothing new, because they took away the incentive for creators to create something new for the big corporations. That's where we are right now. That's why there's nothing new being created. I'll never forget one of the guys has had this awesome character, and he actually did the cover to our third book that came out. And I had gotten it published. I sent it to him, and he was like, "How are you able to do this?" And I was like, "Well, through trial and error, I was able to do this." And he was like, "Well, I sold my characters to be able to get it published," and it bothered him. And Thomas Boatwright, and then he turns around and he's now creating characters and publishing them himself. I mean, but it is interesting that when you take away the incentive, well, then you take away the creativity, and that's what's happening. I think that's also why Hasbro would create a new Transformer and come out with it, and we would be used to that name. I think it was either Jay or it was Darkona that mentioned Slag and Slug. They didn't really worry about the name. They chose to get a name that was close to what we remember, because they didn't think about it right now. I had only SS Wave 10, including Leadfoot, in August, over a month actual release date. Yeah. I am curious. I am wondering why Hasbro has not released any ideas of what they're going to do after this, unless the Transformers Prom 10th anniversary was to whet our appetite of maybe that's what they're going to focus on for the next trilogy. What do you think?
I personally think that with all the, because starting with the Transformers Thrilling 30 line back in 2014, even though a lot of those designs were based on the characters' appearances in IDW's comic books, the Prime Wars trilogy that followed, Combiner Wars, Titans Return, Power of the Primes, and now the War for Cybertron trilogy, Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom, Hasbro and Takara Tomy went full-blown Generation 1 on the characters, and with the Kingdom line, now that we're getting Beast Wars back, I'm just wondering if Hasbro and Takara Tomy are looking back at the other Transformers franchises that were created besides G1 and Beast Wars, because what kickstarted the nostalgia for the original Generation 1 franchise was the release of the live-action movies having characters based off of the Generation 1 characters. That's what kind of kickstarted the Generation 1 nostalgia. And then even before the movies were released in 2006 with the Transformers Classics line introducing the idea of having Transformers action figures that exist for the purpose of being more modern, updated, and upgraded versions of the Generation 1 action figures from the 80s. That led to even more nostalgia for the original Transformers Generation 1 franchise. And so if Hasbro were to do anniversaries of other Transformers lines, I think there's potential for them to do it because next year, 2021, marks the 20th anniversary of Car Robots.
Oh, yeah.
And then the year after that, 2022, marks the 20th anniversary of Armada. And so I'm just wondering which other lines is Hasbro going to do anniversary lines of? Because they did a 10th anniversary line for Beast Wars back in 2006.
That's true, but they didn't do anything until recently. With this. Well, guys, it's my time to take over the duties of being with the cat and babying the cat. All right, well, it was great to talk to y'all. I plan to do this again. I've been missing it, and so I plan on doing this again next week. So if y'all are able to make it, y'all come on by.
Okay.
All right, y'all take care. Yes.
Yeah. Autocorrect Primer, I was going to ask, have you watched my challenge video, my Transformers challenge video?
I am getting close to catching up with everybody's. Lord Master Starscream was telling me about it just now. So, and it's dealing with Optimus Prime, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I definitely would do that challenge.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, he asked me, he says, "Hey, I did it. Have you done it?" Yeah, I was like, I'm so far behind watching. He says, "No, this is actually a challenge that you show off." So I've got him already pulled out. I had Nikki do that for me tonight. So yeah, I'm going to do that and show him off.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Y'all take care.
You too. Bye-bye.